The ceiling fans? They're very attractive.
I'm going to show you the best way to make a TikTok video. The first thing you want to do is find someone else's content, and that usually is on YouTube. And then look for someone incredibly intelligent and funny, like I chose this particular channel. And find the video that you want to share and make it like you did something. And so find the video. There's a lot of programs you can use to download it. And then you can download that video. And then once you have that, you can use some of these programs like CapCut and film yourself doing some type of reactions to whatever's going on screen. And with that, you want to make sure that you move it around, you can make yourself large and cover the entire screen if you want, or you can just make yourself in the corner and move around. But make sure you continually react to what the person on the screen is saying, and in a positive way. Because don't forget, you found this video, and it gives you the higher moral ground to let people know that you're smarter than them, because you found this and you're presenting it like you've done something. And make sure once in a while that you poke at your own head, like whatever's being said is really intelligent and you've discovered it and you know it and everyone else needs to listen, so they might get a little bit of the intelligence and knowledge that you have just because you've shared this video and put yourself into it. And so make sure that you continually agree with the guest on screen and shaking your head yes. And occasionally you can make a face like they've said something really amazing and you were kind of shocked by it. But then don't forget to go back into the smug smile and tap on your own head, because that's knowledge that other people need to hear and you've already absorbed it. So just have fun with it. Make sure you make yourself completely obnoxious. Make it so it's almost unwatchable. And put lots of words and stuff on the screen so it's very difficult to read things and see things behind it. And also make sure that you do your best to never give credit for where you got the information, because you want people to come to your page to see what you have found and show how amazing it is that you have this cognitive ability to find other people's work and create it as your own. So have fun with it, and don't forget at the end, make that little blipply noise that they put on TikTok, because that's important.
Information's out there, all you have to do is let it in.
The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Clickety-click.
Crank up the music. Keep an eye on the back.
This presentation is provided to you to amuse or entertain and not to conform or inform. The content on this channel should not be used to replace professional, financial, medical, or legal advice. All footage taken and used from public sources falls under the fair use of the Digital Millennial Copyright Act of 1998. Therefore, no breach of privacy or copyright has been committed. This show is substantially sourced, not affiliated with any community, club, fraternity, or gang. Your cat may vary. I say, moo. walking down the street when suddenly a shellfish fell out of the sky and hit me on the head. Dazed, I picked it up. I looked at the shellfish and it started to open. I said, "Hey, little guy, where did you come from?" Suddenly the shellfish spoke to me and said I was swooped up by a tornado and I was thrown all the way here. And you better watch out because it's coming. And I looked around and I didn't see any clouds whatsoever. And that's when I realized this was the clam before the storm.
Well, that's not funny. That's not funny at all.
Satellite tracking continues.
Wow. Wow. Hey, everybody. It's Friday night. Whoop, whoop. You're on the right side of the grass. Well, I know you are because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me. At least I don't think you are. I don't know how far this broadcast goes. I don't know if it goes through all the different layers of the firmament, but you're here with me tonight or whenever you're watching this later and repeat and broadcast. So thank you all for being here. Yes, we did again. We're back again. First thing I have to do is find the right buttons. And I have a lot of tabs again tonight, so it already had one hiccup, but we'll see how it goes. I pray on this stream every time, so usually that helps.
Clickety click.
There you are. Hey, everybody. Good to be seen by you all. My hair is looking amazing tonight. And yeah, so we it's quite a week. There's been a lot going on in my quote real life. And so, but I'm really happy that I was able to put together what I think will be a fun show tonight and go over some tabs. I've got, well, you can look, I'll clickety click and you can see. Going for a record. I have, I think that's 88 tabs up there. So that's good. The first one I definitely have to do, get out of the way, please, so I don't forget. My wife makes homemade soaps, and the best soaps you ever had. It's a nice way of supporting the show, and you get some amazing products. And there's a few people that ordered soaps last week. We had some snowy weather, so I got them out today. I'm the shipping department, and put them together, and they went out today. So if you ordered soap and you haven't got it, you should get it the next few days. And for some reason, she always seems to throw stuff extra in there. So there's probably extra products in there for you all. Yeah, so I just wanted to thank anybody that in the past or is doing it still or in the future supporting. Thank you. So let's see. Let's go to, where are you all again? Okay, so we already have over 100 people. This is fantastic. The show's really picking up, and I appreciate you. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this comment or enjoy content, please like, share, and subscribe. So those are the three things you can do. That cost nothing but a moment of clickety clicking.
That's very true.
All right. So So let's get into this, shall we? Where should we start? Let's see. Do, 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 do. Yes, Patty got the very first. She's experimenting. She made a red brick soap, and I think there's some going out to Jen soon. She's going to get red brick soap. It's still in the experimental stage. It's not officially on her store yet, but it is. It's a red brick. So, and thank you for thanking me for being here. Truth be told. So, and I also want to thank all my supporters. I have people that, there's still Patreon supporters. God bless you. And the memberships and all that stuff helps. There's people that still support me through the Cash App and things like that. And, cause like the StreamYard itself is well over $200 now a year. So there are costs involved in this show, and every bit helps, and I appreciate it. So, but I won't do a real long commercial for that. I just wanted to thank the people that have been supporting me. So, and what's this? Oh, what wrong one? Let's see. You don't feel tardy. Well, I don't think it was okay. Melanie is here now. So after this, the show will probably officially start. So you're not tardy yet. We'll do that. Okay. So let's see. I get everybody. I think so. And, oh, yes. And thank you, Pastor of Muppets. I always almost say that wrong every time. Shapu told me that's what that is. I think it's an older one that he sent me. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, my pillow's upside down. There. That's better. Okay. Wow. Glad we got that in order. So, what does this say? What about my tabs? Somebody mentioned my tabs here. But whatever. Let's see. I can't find it now. It's okay. Oh, you think he has me beat? Yeah, but the thing is are they open all at once? He has way more pictures than. I mean, I've always said that he's lost more photos than most people will ever see. So I don't know where he gets it. He keeps that really quiet. So we'll just let him have that because he's fantastic when it comes to that. So
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
okay. Let's see. Where should we start? Let's clear some of these tabs. That would probably help. Where should we start? There? No, let's go over here. Clickety click. We'll go here. And wait. Get rid of that one. That helps. Actually, 88. 89, 90, I had 91 because I have to put the show up too. Because I have to turn all those different shows on. Like Rockfin, you have to start after you start the. You guys don't need to hear about all that. So let's see. Let's go with. Let's go. Oh, God bless you, Olive Jews. It's wonderful. Thank you very much. It's hilarious. Was a sheep in a heart shape. What did they shove his head through there? Something's kind of funny, but thank you for the super chat. That's very, very kind and very much appreciated. Okay, let's see. Let's go with. Yeah, it's already acting wonky, so let's get rid of some of these tabs. Get into this show, and then we'll go from there. So. First off, a lot of people aren't talking about this story, and that's why you're here, of course. I'm here, I should say, is that Greece is experiencing, well, at this point, when this article I put up for tabs was February 5th, 200 earthquakes, and I think now it's 400 to 800. I don't know the exact tally, but it's well over 400 plus earthquakes. Oh, I don't want her talking. That are plaguing that place in Greece, that you always see in the movies and stuff. And so everyone's fleeing because they've had so many and they're afraid that their volcano might pop up. But you've seen this. And I showed Jen and Shapu have covered this for sure. All these kind of melted structures right on the beach there. It's like one of the most famous areas. And people are fleeing it because of all the earthquakes. They set up shelters and things like that. So, yeah, look at that. So that's happening out there in Greece land. Is that what they call it? So, yeah. And then of course they're concerned about their volcano, but so we'll keep an eye on that and see what transpires from that. But you can put it on your checklist of things that they say will happen in the end times, and there's going to be lots of earthquakes and things. So check for those of you who have that on their bingo card. So and then for my Australian friends, good eye. I always have to throw in. Oh, here we go. Let me do this. I can't do it without. We haven't played this in forever, and if I'm going to have this button on here, I might as well use it. So here's for my upside down friends.
Crikey! It's news for Australians, mate. Good day. Here's your news straight from Australia. We once were a prison colony, and now we got separated into many colonies. I've lost my accent. Crikey! Those look mountainous. Oh. Wow! You'll have to learn not only to drive on the wrong side of the road, but upside down. Bonza!
Yeah. This is what I do. So for my upside down friends, a Sydney man has discovered 102 red-bellied black snakes in his garden. He spotted 6 pile, and then the number kept increasing because they were giving birth. So they say everything in Australia is going to kill you, and here you go. So yeah, I didn't see that when I visited Australia, and if you haven't seen that, I've got a video. Well, I went to Antarctica. Of course, everyone's going there, so I went there. I wore a shirt though. I don't know. Just for me, it was cold. And then I went to Australia and visited there, but I did not see, thank the Lord, these many snakes. I did have, if you check out my Australian video, I did have to fight. What was it? I know I had to fight some crocs for sure. And there was a bear that had to fight. So yeah, you can check that out after the show if you haven't seen it. So yeah, so that's going on in Australia. I don't know. Maybe Australia puts these stories out to keep the Americans from coming over there as much. That could be too. It's like we say the weather out here. We always tell people it's raining because there's too many of you coming here anyway. So maybe it's the same thing. But yeah, so he had, what was it? The final count was 102. So I don't even know what you do with that. Move, I guess. That's what I would do. Burn it with fire. I don't know what you do. So yes, Crazy John, I am a world traveler. Oh, you like my croc fight? Thank you, Olive. They have killer rabbits. I thought that's only in Monty Python, Ubercon. They can't. Do they really? All right, I'm gonna have to look for that. I got Australian people for reals in there. For reals. What am I, from the 80s? I'm kind of. My Australian people, do they really have, or is he just goofing with me? So yeah, even the insects can kill you. Exactly. They have some of the most venomous spiders there. So okay. All right. So enough of Australian news. Now back to United States, because we're in the United States. We only care about us, right? America. And of course, the Grammys went down, and I'm really not going to cover much of it because if you can't see that was some satanic ritual, then I can't help you at this point. They really can't. But my main question was this: what happened here? Like, how come no one's talking about how she's completely changed color, right? And it's interesting because if you don't know what's going on with what do you call it, the Grammys, the number one was it best country album was Beyonce. And so now I guess, it's okay because she basically looks white and has, blonde hair or whatever, platinum hair. But yeah, isn't that something? So nothing to see there, of course. But did she go to the Michael Jackson school of changing your look? Or as a lot of truthers or Q people say, that she's been traded out with a lookalike, which, I believe that happens all the time. We can prove it in politics and stuff. So why don't they do it here too? But yeah, isn't that something? Yeah. You know what, Karos or Groot, I don't actually believe that cloning we can do. I think they can manipulate genes in a way that people look similar. And I also think that some people might be more eternal, like in the movie Highlander. But I don't know if we have that. if God allows that. You know what I mean? They want you to think that, just like they take credit for a lot of things you see in the sky. So whether or not they can actually do that, I'm on the fence on that one. I haven't seen enough to really prove it to me. I know they like to pretend it for sure. So yeah. So yeah, is she gonna have to pay now? That's an interesting question, Crazy John. But he's crazy. He can't hear me when I do this. Um, does she have to pay reparations now? Isn't that interesting? So yeah. So there's that. Don't know what's going on there, but she wasn't the oddest thing there, of course. Yeah, Pastor of Muppets. We should check. He mentioned her shoulders. We should check her feet, as Jen says. So, but you can't. There's no feet in this picture. But moving on from there, this you would have thought was the craziest thing you would have seen on the red carpet. For some reason that's not been explained, of course, other than some type of humiliation ritual. That's easy to say for me. Jaden Smith wore a black castle on his head. And what's really funny about this is if you look, I don't know if it make his face large. No, it doesn't. But when you look at this, he's really kind of like sad looking when he's standing here. And it's almost like he realized that he thought he'd be the most talked about thing on the runway. And yet Kanye West showed up with his wife basically naked. I'm not showing it tonight, but you can find it all over the internet. She's just naked. That's it. It's completely emperor wears no clothes or whatever kind of thing. And so he became like nobody cared. Because, you got a guy walking out with a castle on his head, and then you got a gal walking out naked. What do you think the audience is going to look towards, So what's that? A prison. A prison for his head? Oh, it's like the boots on the ground that Curtis and Jen went to, like a prison. Maybe. But either way, he was second best to the naked woman on the runway. And then more than that, the devil was everywhere. And this one I thought was really, really subtle. I forget who this is. Is that Beyonce? I don't know. It's one of them. And look at Trip Sixes on her hair. Isn't that something? But so obvious. I mean, that's not a circle, but that is, and that is. So, the devil's in the details, as they say, for reals. So, see, does this say who this is? No, I guess it's just gone. So, anyways, yeah. But yeah, so there he is in all his glory. Oh my goodness. What an S show this whole thing is. It's nuts. And you got, America's Most Wanted in there too. You got all these people that are up on charges and allegedly and all these different things, and they're all just hanging out together, having a good old time. So, yeah, I mean, you could go through 1,000 things that were satanic in that, and that's why I'm not even going to go over and play any of it, because it's just so obvious. I mean, this is what's this guy's name? Sam something, and straight up in a devil's outfit with horns, and fire and whatever these demonic creatures are. And it's just the whole thing. I mean, they don't hide it anymore. It used to be this stuff was hidden and you really had to look for it. Now it's just right all in your face. And so, yeah. And they even have like the award thing is like in lava or something. I mean, Grammys from hell, they should have called it, for reals, for reals. Shit, that's twice tonight I've said that. All right. Got to get that out of my head. And then for those of you that are watching sports ball this Sunday, the halftime show apparently is this guy Kamar. What's his name? Kendrick Lamar. And just to remind you, like where he pretended to be Jesus on stage and yelled about women and how they, basically have the rights of abortion being taken away. So he's going to be the halftime show. So what can I say? It's right in your face. You can believe it or not, but that guy is not real. That guy. Yeah. So yeah, that's all I can do. I can just show it to you and then you can make your own decisions there. Let's see. And this one I thought was interesting, and all can do your own research on this, but before just a few years ago, most people had never heard of BlackRock and Vanguard and the fact that they own everything. I mean, Vanguard maybe, but BlackRock was sort of new kid on the block as far as everyone finding out who's running everything. And by running it, I mean they own it all, and you can look through and how back I think it started in the 80s where they showed you these conglomerate companies, and AT&T was buying out this and that, and GE was buying that, and and they were happening, and it was all becoming one big group. And then at the end of that line is BlackRock, and Vanguard, they own it all. Well, now I had not heard of all these different ones, and so look into these now: DTC, DTCC, and CD and Company, because it's like the next level of of ownership. I mean, eventually you get to the same owners at the top, but it's kind of interesting that we keep finding out more and more companies that are at the top of this whatever this we're dealing with. Yeah, JP Morgan's another one for sure. Yeah, Seed and Company owns everything, Mike. Yeah. And like I said, I wasn't familiar with these. So yeah. And they are buying up money with money they don't have. Exactly, Joey. Okay. And then don't forget the people that are bringing you the next version of the wonderful juice, as I can say. Oh, wait, juice with a CE. So you got to watch what, at least I do. I know you can say whatever you want on other channels, but on this one, I got to watch and say things in code because I like being on air with you all. And so, so the same people that are bringing you the brand new juice and the ones that brought it to you a few years back, if you're not familiar with Johnson & Johnson, besides their talcum powder lawsuit they did, there's now this came out last year that they have cancer-causing forever chemicals in Band-Aids, where it goes directly into your blood into an open wound. Isn't that great? So when they say they're killing us slowly, it's not just one thing or another. It's not just food. It's not just water. It's not just the air. It's everything. It's everything for everyone. Where's my guy? He's here somewhere. Can't find him. Wasn't worth it. Although here he is. Everyone! So yeah, so that's what's going on there. So if you have Band-Aids, it's time to switch to, I don't know what's better. They're probably all the same. Just gauze and tape, I guess. Or gauze and duct tape. If duct tape's good enough for the space shuttle, then it's good enough for me, is what I say. So yeah. Band-Aid is like it's like when you say, if you have a runny nose and can you get me a Kleenex? It's actually called a facial tissue, but nobody calls it that. We just call it Kleenex because that's like the one name that we all think of. And same with Band-Aid. I mean, you always say that, right? You don't say, hey, can you get me a bandage for you say, can I get a Band-Aid? And so, yeah. So once again, it's this programming they do to us to make us put forever chemicals on our wounds. It's nice and wonderful. Let's see. Yeah, and Xerox is the same way, Rose. Hi, Rose. That means you're tardy. Did you just get here? Rose is tardy. Who else is tardy?
I don't feel tardy.
Okay. So enough of the Band-Aids. How about this one? Scientists have discovered the DNA proving the original Native Americans were white. So there you go. So now from now on, I think I'm going to be putting on, when they ask me that question, I'll say Native American, right? But what's funny? I always say, why do you, all these other things when you fill them out, like, you get Asian American, you get Native American, you get African American, there's some Samoas even have their own little category and stuff. Well, not little, it's a big one. And then in addition to that, everyone seems to have their own, Latin America. And then there's white. And I was like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I've always put because I've got ancestors from Russia and or Ukraine or whatever, and Hungary. So I always put that, or now you can write Asian. I could put Asian because they say all those countries are now Asia. So what used to be, you would think is someone that, looked Asian. Now you could just be Asian and be anything. So, but yeah, so now they're saying the Native Americans were white, right? And I'm sure it was a white person that wrote this article, or most likely AI. So Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Well, that wasn't racial. That was a complete accident in my head. But it's once again, isn't it funny? Disney, I guess, did a live action version of Little Mermaid, and they made sure that not only they changed the races of the people, but they also made the horse black. So I thought that was hilarious. It's pretty funny. Yeah, Native Americans are white and dinosaurs had feathers. Exactly. Yeah, how come we get a color, right? Why doesn't everyone go by colors? Why isn't it white, black, green, red, blue, yellow? Why isn't it that? No. More division. That's all it is. More division. And it's funny, what is it? What's that one movie that's coming out? Snow White. They keep putting out trailers and getting like millions and millions of downvotes. They're saying it's going to be the most hated movie and it hasn't even come out yet, which is really funny. And this one I just had to ask, does anyone know the answer to this? How come your fingers have fingertips, but your toes don't have toe tips? And you can tiptoe, but you can't tip finger. Huh? Anyone? Anyone? Nobody. Isn't that funny? Like, who's inventing our words? It's really a garbage language, English, isn't it? Shoot. What is it, Dr. Jekyll? You're melanin challenged? I like it. Yeah. No, nobody cares what color. They just want us to fight over it. That's all. That's the only reason I bring that up, Let's see. So, yeah. So, but more importantly, like what race or color you are, somebody needs to figure this out. Why, besides Jack Sparrow, he can't figure it out either. Okay, what's next? One more just to show you how great these masks are that they make for, who are you seeing in public? We'll never know at this point. When I was a kid, I used to watch the show Mission Impossible, and they had these crazy masks in that. And now it's real. Like who knows how long they've been doing this. But I've shown it many times on this show where you can see that they're wearing things, prosthetics of some kind, and you don't really know who's talking to you. I mean, look at his eyebrows. And then whatever that seam is right here, that's not natural. Okay. Or hers. She had like this frog neck thing going on. And what happened to her? She's just gone. She's just vanished, right? Suddenly they're rolling out AOC again. Yeah, it's kind of funny. And though this one was interesting. Where's hers? Yeah, see right there. Look at that. It's totally a mask. I mean, you never know, especially if they're not in a speaking role at that moment. They just put in whoever they want as the body double, and they roll with it. So it's just not normal. And then, of course, the one of Elon, and he's got with either that he's got a really great tan, I guess, right? So yeah, that's going on there. Did I have others of that? Let me see. Let me stop this for a second. I gotta look. All these thousands of tabs. I thought I had a few others connected to that. I think I know where they are. I think they're over here. Yeah, it's right here. Let's see. See how we do this. We go clickety click, and then we go here. That one. And this is from that game that no one's played, but it's these Illuminati cards, and they basically show you the exact same thing we just saw with Elon. It's the same thing that's going on here with Joe Biden. So hidden in plain sight, as they say. They have to let you know. Whoops, went too far. They have to let you know that they're deceiving you. It's the way this works. So I think that's all of them. Yeah, deception everywhere. This was an event that happened in Las Vegas. I don't even know. You all know, hopefully, what event I'm talking about. But what you saw in the news was a zoomed in version of like this, right? Looks pretty shocking and tragic and full of action. And but when you roll out and you see this, You see this? This guy. And then don't forget, you got to let you know who's running this. So you got that for no reason whatsoever, because I think this is a country event. So anyways, little rundown memory lane of trauma that's happened throughout the last few years, I'd say. Okay, so we get rid of that. Let's see. We covered that and that. That's for later. That's for later. I could show this one. I thought this was pretty good. Oops. Where'd it go? There it is. Clickety click. Somebody fix this picture. So you got Spider-Man over here, and I don't know what woman this is. Maybe some of the chat recognizes her. But something didn't look right, so this person fixed it. See, now it looks more normal. And I don't know what's going on with either one of these two. But I thought that was pretty funny. Because that does look more normal, doesn't it? So what is this? Oh, they haven't heard my Elon song. Probably. The thing is I did a song, and please look for it on my channel. It's Elon. And but I had to use the music of Sir Elton John. And so they took the monetization because, he needs it obviously more. And so if I play it on tonight's stream, then any little money that I get from tonight's stream, these ads that you're seeing or the super chat, will go to him. And I don't want to do that. So, or I'd have to edit it out. So you can find that as you on your leisure, at your leisure, one of those. All right. And this, to me, 100%. Now, I'm older than some people in the chat, but this was the cure for every sickness. Absolutely. Do you agree, Jeannie? Yeah. Yep. That's what you did. And I like how The Price is Right was in there too. That's what we did. We sat at home. We didn't go on. There was no Instagram or anywhere to like piss and moan to people that you're sick. You stayed home from school. Your mom would rub this both probably on your chest and your feet. You'd get chicken noodle soup, Sprite. For me, it was 7-Up. Sprite was a little too sweet. And then of course premium crackers and The Price is Right, and you were set. So what's next? And this I thought was hilarious. I sent this to Shapu because that's really how it is in the United States. Because we're taking over Canada pretty soon. It's going to be another state, 51, 52. I'm not sure, but yeah. So, but isn't that the greatest? Yeah, I don't think you want to know about America, is right there. That's it for real. That's it right there. So that's just the way we're born and raised. Okay, we covered that. That's enough of that one. Let's see. Did I get all those that I was coming for on that? Yeah, and the rest of these we can pick up later. All right, so put that backstage. Let's see. Where are we at here? Let's see. Shoot, I've hit a wall. Okay. Got to use these buttons if you make them. All right. So let's go back up here. Let's clear some more of these clickety click tabs. And we'll go into here. Let's see. This one if you're there, Jen, or if you watch this later, this is for you.
Chuck Schumer's wife is a dude. Deep inside, you know that it's true. You can try to deny it, but it's so hard to do. Chuck Schumer's wife is a dude.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, the kazoo. Because every great song needs the kazoo. All right, that's enough bloop. So There you go. How do I get out of that? Is that great? Let's see. I think I can share that if anybody wants that song. Copy. I'll go into here. That's a good one, right? That's funny. There you go. If you want to listen to that song later, I threw it in there. I'll throw it over here on Rumble. It's mostly just Dennis, but there's 16 people there. So God bless you, whoever's over there and watching me in Rumble. Thank you. I'm trying to build that platform up for sure. See, I didn't say for reals. It's not much better. Did I put it in Rockfish? No. There we go. Paste. And there we go. In case Heather's out there. Haven't seen her in a while, but she watches me there. Okay. What's next? Let's go back up here. Clickety click. Here. A lot of buttons to click. And this one. And if you didn't like that musical interlude, I know I don't ever I don't ever dare play anything of the Beatles. But this came about, and John Lennon singing with one of his, quote, idols, Chuck Berry. And, of course, he brought along Yoko. Did you see that? That's my favorite part. Catching that little move there? Try to dance to this. And for those of you that are old enough like myself, and I love John Lennon, I've told you before that the Beatles were some of my favorite handlers. And his album Double Fantasy, the one when his character died, he mixed it. And so let's say there was, I don't know how many, say a dozen songs on the album. So 6 of them were John's and 6 of them were Yoko's. And if you put the album on your record player, because that's what we did back in the day, you had to sit through this. In order to get through John's songs. And unless you felt like getting up every few minutes, you had to sit through this. Where's that? All right, that's enough of that. Shut it off, Karos? Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, so yeah, it was, I don't know, too many mushrooms. I think she just always sounded like this. But what's really funny is somebody made the comment about, of all the people that are on the screen right here, one of them is a multi-millionaire, and the other 2 characters are gone. So who's having the last laugh? So there's that. Okay, let me stop sharing. Get rid of that. And I wanted to address something that came up there. My friend Juan Truth is needing prayers for his mother, who's in the hospital. So yes, we'll all pray for her, Juan, and pray for her to get a speedy. I'm sorry. Yeah. Jeannie was saying it's scary because we just went through that with her mother. So and she came out of it. So we'll pray for a speedy recovery, and may God send the Holy Spirit to take care of her, comfort your family, and to get her better and up and around so she can boss you around. I can add that in, right? And then say in Jesus' name, amen. So there. Because you got to remember what show you're on. And let's see. Yeah, isn't it, Chuck? It's like, what the? It made him glitch. Yeah. So your cat ran out of the room. Oh, shoot. Okay. Yeah, Patty. You know what her voice reminds me of? It reminds me of a tiger. So yeah. Yoko was here to make us hate music. Cut her mic. Yeah. Definitely. But see, that wasn't either. That was just screaming. So I think we're good. So do you wonder if it's on Spotify? That's hilarious. So yeah. Okay. He looks like Gilbert Gottfried, what Chuck Berry did. That's interesting. I didn't see that, but I wouldn't doubt it. That flat earth fittest guy, he probably will do a thing on his dots and find out they're the same person. So Yoko the Hound Dog. Was she trolling? Absolutely. I think she was trolling him. From the very beginning, this origin story was John Lennon stumbled into some art studio and there was a ladder in the middle of the room. And at the top of the ladder was a, what do you call it? A magnifying glass hanging down on a string. I told you I know way too much, folklore in this garbage. And so you climbed up the ladder and you took the magnifying glass and you looked up at the ceiling to this tiny word that was written there. And the tiny word was yes. And that's it. The love affair began. And then she started screaming on the records and she became our problem. So that's the way that worked.
True. Yep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yoko. Oh no. Oh no. It's enjoyable as dropping a stove on your toes. My audience is hilarious. So yeah. Yeah. All right. I shut it off, so it's over. So, what's next? So, I don't know. Most likely, I don't know. I've never done a deep dive because her voice annoys me enough to even worry about that. So, and they call you crazy. Yeah, and there aren't not enough mushrooms. I mean, I'm telling you, it was painful having to listen to her. They did the second one, the one after he died. They put out I think it was called Milk and Honey, and they did the same thing to you there. You had to sit through her stuff in order to hear your John Lennon song. So, all right, and you're much appreciated, Juan. So, all right. Where are we at here? What is this? She was elite. Look at her. Oh, I believe it 100%. Most likely she was the handler for John and that group. For John for sure. So wait, you've never heard of Yoko? I mean, you probably heard of her, but you've never heard her sing. Oh yeah, you can find it online. Look up Double Fantasy, and you'll get her greatest hits on there. So, okay, where are we at? Let's see. Where am I streaming from? I am in the Northwest, the Pacific Northwest, state of Washington, up in the top area, across from the water from where Seattle is. It's on when you look at Washington, you see that like piece that's cut out. I'm on the left side and Seattle's on the other side. So, and I'm not going to sing, but I do sing. So, all right, let's get out of some of these tabs now. Need to cleanse the palate. Let's see, clickety click in here. And this is interesting. And I think even in my old Bible, it talks about this idea. So
how many months are there in a year? 12. Exactly. How many weeks are there in a year? 52. Good. However, 12 months, well, 12 times 4 is 48. And 52 minus 4 is 48. Doesn't take a genius to work out we've got 4 extra weeks. And what do 4 weeks make? A month. There are actually 13 months in a year. We are being paid for 12 months' work, and we are doing 13 months' work a year.
How about that? Because we all know the Gregorian calendar, they change everything and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, there was actually 13. In fact, the horoscopes had 13 and all that. So yeah, isn't that something? So I thought that was a good little snippet to remind us that when you're exhausted because you've worked so hard, it's because they worked you for 13 months and told you worked 12. Oh, and then we're going to get into about how Trump and Elon and Big Balls are now going through and they are finding all the unnecessary projects and things that our tax dollars have been paying over these years. And so this gal was the Department of the National Education Association.
Depending on us to win all the things. NEA, we have to win all the things.
I think they forgot to tell there's a microphone in front of her because you don't need to scream when you're doing this. But if that's not a make you want to put your kids homeschooled, I don't know what is. So yeah. So there's that. And then in addition to that, you had this guy who's worried about, and I thought this was a joke, but no, this is real. This Representative Hank Johnson about too many people going to Guam.
And I don't know how many square miles that is. Do you happen to know?
I don't have that figure with me, sir. I can certainly supply it to you if you'd like.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
And we should look at him, he probably makes 200 grand a year or more. And he's worried that they're going to capsize the island with too many people on it. So there's that. I thought this was fake, but no, this really happened. Yeah. So, okay. So be careful if you're in Guam. I don't know. I probably have listeners in Guam, but I'm not sure. Have them all over the plane. And then this is the new star child at the White House. And so, she's got the list. If you're not sure what the list is, it's this list of these expenditures that, U.S. aid mostly was taking your tax dollars and funneling it out to these horrible programs. And, Trump shutting them down. I get it. That's cool. Good cop, bad cop. Bad cop, spent all your money. Good cop's going to clean it up. I mean, she lists a few of them.
In funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan.
So, it's I got my eyes itchy. Sorry, everyone. So yeah, she's got this whole list of the things that they're saving us from, right? I have some of them right here, where they're finding Afghanistan, Yemen, Syria. Let's see, electric vehicles in Vietnam, a transgender clinic in India. What else you got? And then also 1.5 million to a Serbian LGBTQ group. So it just goes on and on and on. And you can find these lists and stuff. And so once again, they wanted to make the last administration look so bad that even people that don't like Trump are getting behind some of this stuff, that why are our tax dollars going to all these programs? And for those of you that maybe are new to me, I went through the Trump train. I went through Trump, I went through Q, all that stuff. And then I came out the other side and realized it doesn't matter who's in the White House. They're running their agenda regardless. And Trump did a lot of things to you and your freedoms that, people don't want to admit, because he's doing all these great things now, right? Everybody wants to save their tax dollars on this, that, and the other. But it's more the magician's trick. He's saving you a couple million here and 10 million there, and 164 million, and shutting down this whole U.S. aid thing. And they've proven that the money that went to a lot of programs, like including where's that guy? Yeah, George Soros. He received 260 million. And so we used to, a lot of these truth channels talk about, he's running everything. He's running the BLM and this, that, and the other. But he wasn't using his own money. He was using the money that he got from our tax dollars that were funneled to him. I mean, it's the same. What is it? the Who say, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. They funnel money back and forth through these families, and then they call each other, call each other out, being the devil. Look at what he did. Look what he did. But he's taking all this money that he's saving. Well, put a pin in that. Look, these are all the people upset with what closing down the U.S. aid, and meanwhile, they didn't have any outrage what happened to North Carolina. They had no outrage what happened to California or in Hawaii, and so I get it. Like, Good Cop is in there right now, and he's helping these people. But that's part of it is you make the last administration such a villain that the new guy comes in, and even if you don't like him, you have to applaud him. Like, if you're somebody that votes for, say, well, let's not even say Harris, just non-Trump, because that's all it was. It was either vote for Trump or vote not for Trump. And so if, let's say, you're living in one of these areas and then they leave you hanging out to dry, and yet then Trump comes in and he starts sending like the Corps of Army Engineers and the whatever, the National Guard and things to help these people, you have to appreciate that, and the fact that they're all pissed off. Somebody put them all together. It's the only way to listen to this. We will win. So they're all upset. Meanwhile, no outrage at any of this stuff going on. So it's just part of the game. Just know that it's a theater for you. Now, I understand lives are affected. It's not a game, but to them it is. To them, you're watching the Truman Show, the theater. There's a left side and a right side. There's a red team and a blue team. There, you like the Chiefs or you like the Eagles. It's the same thing. It's just played out in the political theater with different actors, and they all have IMDb pages. They're all paid actors, and they have more in common with themselves than they ever will with us. I think it was Mitt Romney when he was running for president. He couldn't even walk into a grocery store. He didn't know how the automatic doors worked, and I totally believe that, because he probably has never set foot in his life and probably didn't have to ever again, And so when you watch this, just know that it's being presented. So not only you'll be upset, but then you'll fight and you'll choose your team, and then you'll get mad at your neighbor because they choose the other team, when it's more just the puppet show to make us fight with each other and forget that none of us are doing this to each other. We can't change what's going on in DC. You can't vote your way out of a bunch of criminals that vote each other in. I mean, they're elected, they're selected, not elected. I should set up that table, prove me wrong, like Guy does. But yeah. And then of course they're really upset with, of course, it's called Doge, right? Which is the name of Elon Musk's Bitcoin and dog and all that. But they get to the point where they're so angry on CNN, they're talking about this guy that's been brought on as a consultant. I think he's like 19 or something. And his name is Big Balls. And so all the news stations are having to make the choice whether they say it or they don't say it. I think one of them I saw, they spelled it. They said the guy that was brought on, his name is Big Balls. Like, it's so ridiculous. It's such a clown show. So that's what they're mad at. Everyone's upset at the big balls that are in the White House now. See what I did there? It's so easy to make that joke. It's not even fair. Okay, so what's next? Let me clear this. And and things like this. Like, he's looking at once again another demon, Gavin Newsom. He said he was going to put in this high-speed rail, and it's already $100 billion short and not even close to being finished. And so once again, it's just it's more way of funneling our money into their pockets. And I'm sure a ton of people have been paid over this, and we're not even close to finishing it. So Good Cop comes in and says, I'm going to finish it. So how could you not get behind that? You know what I mean? So I understand why he's popular, and he's getting more popular. It's kind of written about in this book I read called The Bible. But He said he's going to build it on time and on a budget. So he's doing the moves that we want him to do. He's grabbing the Christians and people like that because they think he's one of them now, but he's not. We can prove that too. We'll continue on from here. Let's see. Yeah, and the BBC's upset because they said 8% of their income comes from the United States. Why are we using our U.S. tax dollars to fund the BBC? I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. So if these things were happening, they're exposing them on purpose. Why? Because all this money that they were stealing and sending to other places like this. And can I ask a question? I mean, I know the Q people say he's writing this on purpose, but how come either he's writing these or someone's writing them for him? Why is his the only phone or whatever computer that doesn't do spell check? Like the whole reason Shampoo's name is Shampoo is because the computer always thought I was spelling it wrong. And so when he writes the word stolen, why doesn't it correct it? Oh, because he wants it, because future proves past. And Stalin, if you connect it to Q drop number 645 that was put out 10 years ago, and and then they do that whole thing. But otherwise, I mean, come on, it's just theater for us. But yeah, so it says they've been paying to the fake news media $8 million, New York Times and things. So he's discovering, and Doge and Big Balls are finding all this money. Meanwhile, we know where it's going. So first of all, did you know that $5 million of your taxpayer dollars went for Sean Penn to meet with President Zelensky and give him his Oscar that he won for some role? Not Good Times at Fast Times at Good. What is it? Fast Times at what is it? Hon, what is that? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Thank you. I was drawing a blank there. Yeah, right. Kofefe. Exactly, Groot. That was another one he typed out, and everyone was like, "Ooh, what does he mean by Kofefe?" Yeah. So yeah, he $5 million to send Sean Penn over there to give him his Oscar, right? So there he goes. It tells him you should keep it until the war's over. Sure, okay, whatever. And this guy's an actor too, by the way. Zelensky actually in a movie or a TV movie or something played the president of Ukraine. Huh? That's a coincidence. And in addition to that, don't forget, Ben Stiller did the same thing. We paid $4 million. He's a little bit cheaper, I guess, than Sean Penn. I don't think he has an Oscar. Maybe that's why. So $4 million for him to go meet Zelensky. So that was money well spent, don't you think? So there's that. And of course he's sending it to the Emperor of Star Wars. But what's he doing with it? Well, he saved you several $100 million with his left hand, and he gave $1 billion to a specific country in the Middle East with his right hand. I mean, it's so obvious when you start watching it. It's going on right in front of you. So yeah, Reagan, Schwarzenegger, they're all actors. They all have IMDb pages, right? So yeah, so there's the money he saves from Doge, and he gives it over there. So you got that. And how about this wonderful thing? Wonderful. I'm saying that in air quotes. So he signed an executive order. Well, I'll just tell you where he's setting up this sovereign wealth fund, because this guy, I think he says around here,
for the help of the American people. So I bring all these things together. I think Scott and I will create these companies and have that grow for the help of the American.
Where is it? It's over here.
If we are going to buy 2 billion COVID vaccines.
Yeah, some things. 2 billion. So they're taking your money. They're going to buy 2 billion of the new juice with the CE for your health, right? Because it's Make America Healthy Again. And in addition to that, they're creating this super fund. They haven't explained it properly, anyways, and they're going to make money off of that. So you're going to somehow pay for it. You'll take the juice, CE, and then they'll make money on top of it, right? Win, win, win for them. Sure glad we got rid of Big Pharma, right? Because RFK's here. You've been played again, America. And just in case you're wondering, here's the National Nanotechnology Initiative supplement to the president's 2025 budget, where it specifically outlines the drug delivery devices, diagnostics, and novel forms of therapy, nanomaterial interfaces with biological systems and biomedical relevance. So it's this whole nanotechnology that that they want to bring onto us with the use of Daddy Brain Chip and Daddy Juice CE. So, it's all right there if you look. It's just letting you know. They just slowly boil the frog a little bit at a time. So, and then in a completely separate observation, RFK Jr., as you know, of course, I'm on YouTube, so he's a smart man when he says this. He recommends that the children follow the CDC schedule, and he supports the CDC schedule. He says it right there. And for those of you, Operation Warp Speed was an extraordinary accomplishment, right? And we know who fathered that. The guy says he fathered it, the Orange Man. And so make sure that you get, when I was a kid, I got this. I even have my list over here. And then, of course, in 83, that we were way sicker, apparently. And now, 79. Isn't that something? 79. So just make sure that you follow the CDC guidelines that have your best interest in mind. And so, yeah, that's what you got to do, according to the government. The government would never lie to you. So follow their instructions, right? YouTube, follow their instructions. I'm not a doctor. Listen to them, right? Because there is no science that shows that they're bad for you, except all these studies. So maybe we'll put this in the chat because I don't know. Are these peer-reviewed studies? You all look into it. I'm not going to. There's only 3 million views on this so far. It is interesting that that's still up on Twitter because that kind of stuff usually comes down right away. So we'll put that there. And yes, even Elon is censoring on his platform. Just it happens. All right. Let's see. Put it in Rockfin. And now I'll throw it over on Rumble. So there we go. Okay. So we got that. But the thing is like we were supposed to not have any more idols. Well, at least when you discover, the truth of the world and the Bible and all that, and you're supposed to get rid of your idols. And yet, besides the people in the movies and TV and the sports ball and all that, these political guys are becoming idols. So I saw this thing. He's on a plane. He always does weird stuff on a plane, this RFK. One time they caught him eating McDonald's and drinking a Diet Coke. And of course, everyone said, well, is he really eating it? Well, yeah, it was in front of him. He had no other choice. That's the only food they had. Well, how long is a flight? He could have waited. He could have brought some. I'm sure they had peanuts on board. It was a private plane by Donald Trump, DJT, I guess. It was his private plane. You don't tell me they don't have a chef. They didn't have some other food on there. No, it's again, they have to reveal their methods to you. They have to tell you they're charlatans, and then you have to still accept it. And then when you see him do weird stuff like this on a plane, again, who's filming this? Who happens to be able to film this enough to put us out? That he sits down and he puts a mystery blue liquid in his water. And then immediately all the truth channels like, oh, I know what that is. That's such and such, and it's good for this and that and the other. You don't know. Maybe you read a report somewhere, but where's your study? Have you tried it yourself and seen a difference in these different things that you say it does? We're just blindly following these people because he's putting blue liquid in his water. Now everyone's doing it. So they become the new idols. Is these people, the RFK and Donald Trump, because like I said, the last administration not only looked ridiculous, but it do I have any of those left? I think I got rid of them all because it's old news now. Now somebody said, do I have Trump deranged syndrome? No, he's just the guy right now, so I'm talking about him. But I have plenty on this guy, but he's not relevant anymore.
Meanwhile, you can rate the card.
Quote, women are not not allowed.
What did he just say? They're
not without electoral.
What did he just say?
Or political power. No kidding.
What did he just say?
Satellite tracking continues.
I mean, it was too easy. I didn't have to really. I just added some little jokes in there, but I just play him the way he is. I still think, I don't think I have any more of him. I got rid of all his. I still think the best one of all, though, was that one when he was in the jungle, the Amazon jungle, and he literally just walks off to nothing. It wasn't even a path. There was nothing there. He just kind of waves goodbye and he turns around like Homer Simpson when he fades into the bushes. So it's low hanging fruit. It was really hard not to constantly have some thing for him. So no, they're all the same. They all work together. He's even in one of my panda videos. I think pandas are sus.
Is my parents' dog moonlighting as panda?
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, brought to you by Silly Fan Man. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Today's episode, how pandas are made.
Panda.
Satellite tracking continues.
I haven't talked about pandas in a while. Maybe there's new people who I have 5 different panda videos on how they're made. Because pandas are sus, as we say on this channel, and pigeons. Pooh sent me that. It's fantastic. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? What should we do next? We'll go up here. All right. Oh, so let's go back into it. We were presenting our new commander-in-chief. So now you got this. See this nonsense? Netanyahu, he visited the White House and he gave Trump a golden pager. Now, 2 things about that. First of all, this is the actual news article, and this is not the pager. But when you look at the news articles, not just from this AF Post, but other ones, they all included this picture when they talked about the golden pager. Now, obviously, this isn't the actual pager, but what a coinky-dink that it has the 33 in there, right? I mean, it's just, you can't help but see it everywhere. If you're looking for it, it hits you in the face. So once again, just letting you know, because don't forget, the pagers supposedly, allegedly, they gave out the pagers to a bunch of people in the Middle East and killed them all, blew them up. So regardless of what side you are, red team, blue team on that, the fact that they literally killed, murdered good guys, bad guys, I don't know, you can say what you want, and they celebrating it by, this is the actual one, by giving him a not solid gold, maybe it is, but a gold pager on this piece of wood for some reason. See? Greatest friend and ally right there. And did you know Benjamin Netanyahu? First of all, that's not his actual name. I forget what it is. But he also attended school in where? Anyone? Bueller? Philadelphia. Well, there's another quinky dink, isn't it? So yeah. So so what are they celebrating here? Because if you believe in the stories that they're telling us, they kill people with these. So yeah, it's the ultimate troll, Dr. Jekyll. You're right. So where are we at? Yeah, Philadelphia, Mary and Angela Magdalene, right? Oh, look, I got new members. Where's that happen? Oh, I missed it. Thank you, Melanie. I know. What? Let me find it. Here somewhere. Clickety click. Where is it? I got new members. Yay. New people in green. I can't even find it, Melanie. Where is it? There it is. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you. So I do appreciate your support. And Mr. Cool, Johnny Cool's support. Thank you very much. Okay. Where are we at? Let's go back to here. Yeah, you're going to learn stuff tonight. I guarantee you, you're going to learn something. Because we're going to keep going on this deep dive. Okay. I like this. The caption is 3 Satanists walk into a bar. But yeah, the thing is there's certain things I can't talk about on YouTube. The V, the big C, and J. Just so you know. And if you know what those mean, you'll have to try to figure this out on your own, but we'll kind of walk you through it. So here's another interesting thing. See how voting doesn't matter? Here's Trump with Netanyahu. There's Biden with Netanyahu. And he even calls him that. He's like, who? Who is it? Who? Sorry, this is an easy joke. And then, of course, here's Obama with Netanyahu. So it doesn't matter what side you're on, red team, blue team. They all have one common ally, owner. You tell me. This is the one that made me put up the thumbnail. Trump is now saying that we're going to take over Gaza. We're going to take it over, and we're going to, as he calls it, relocate them, the people in Gaza, right?
Destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
So their whole spiel is this. See, you can tell I have the card. I can talk about this. I'll prove it to you all. I have the card. You know, just like how a certain dark tone people can use words other the Native Americans like myself can't. I have the J card, as they say. I got my yarmulke. See, I've got my prayer shawl. I was bar mitzvahed, so, and I come from Jewish parents. I got the whole kit and caboodle. You see? That's enough. Oy vey, so I can talk about these things because I'm going to tell you exactly how I see it. So you've got the president of the United States now saying, and I agree, since I've been born, they've been fighting in that area over who owns what. Okay. But his idea behind this now is we're going to, as he just said, we're going to level the buildings and then build new things there. And we're going to relocate the people that are living there to an area that's livable that we choose, I guess, you know, farther and somewhere. Huh? I'm saying the United States. We. Yeah. No, not the we. We. The United States is going to make this decision. And so you have to take a pause, right? Take a step back and say, if someone else was saying this and it wasn't the golden child here, the golden age that's coming, if someone else said that, wouldn't there be a little bit of questioning and outcry of, isn't that, well, as my wife calls it, strategic demolition and no, what is it? Shoot. I always get this wrong. Control. Thank you. Love you. The silent wife down there. Controlled demolition and strategic relocation. Was that Dave J said that? Oh, I've always quoted that to you. So I'm still going to make it your quote. If Dave J ever comes over here and says hi to me, then I'll make it his quote. But so you have to ask yourself. So they're saying that the Gaza Strip right now is completely unlivable and the buildings are destroyed. But can we then ask the question, well, who destroyed them? Because they didn't blow themselves up. So who destroyed them? And it's a combination, I would think, of us as the United States and Netanyahu's people. So if it was anyone else, wouldn't someone question, well, wait, the people that went in, and I understand there's a fight on both sides, right? They're supposedly doing horrific acts against Netanyahu's people and vice versa. I mean, literally, you can argue over that like you can football, for real. I did it again. Next week, none. There won't be anything for reals. It'll all be for fakes. But you can argue either side, but the whole idea is that was destroyed. Now the people that are there are getting relocated. Some might say, what's that called? Not genocide. What's the other word? Ethnic cleansing. I mean, in a way, they're cleansing out this one ethnicity, and then they're inserting the other ones that they want. And so how we became the police of the world, I don't know. We've always been that. But so now we've made this decision. So, of course, if we can recap, since he's been in office, we're purchasing Greenland if we already haven't. We took over the Gulf of America now. It's no longer the Gulf of Mexico. All the maps will have to be changed. We took over the Panama Canal, got that going for us. We already had Guam, but if that thing tips over, maybe we'll give that back to, who is it, the Philippines or somebody. But and now we're going after the Gaza Strip, and he says that he's going to do it in a way that our troops won't have to be there forever. I mean, hey, if he can have peace in the Middle East, that'd be wonderful, the people living out there. But it's also, isn't that a sign of the apocalypse, possibly? But just saying, it's interesting how they're discussing how we're going to help them out the door. Well, your place has been destroyed, but we don't know who did it, and we'll just move you over here and build you new things, and we'll move in these guys, right? That had nothing to do with it. Sure, it's mind-boggling to me that people don't see this part of it. You get blinded, not just by Trump, but also by your heritage, right? And we'll discuss that too, as to actually who's living in that area and who they really are. Again, I have the card, so I know. I'll explain that to you. But I'll explain it as best I can, because there aren't any experts.
There are no experts.
Boom, baby.
Okay. You got an extra boom, baby. Didn't mean that one, but all right. So then we go back into here. Are you all following along with this? Oh my goodness. What did I miss there? Okay. Let's see. How do I do this? No, it's not that one. It is that one. God bless you. All right. See if I could say this. Mary Angel Magdalene, right? Nice. Praise Jesus. Thank you. That's very, very kind. Very much appreciated. God bless you. Okay. So let's see. Where were we? Let me get rid of that. How do I fix this? Oh, there's the button. Okay. Okay. All right. I got lost in the sauce here. Where am I? I don't know. Here we are.
And so here we are.
Okay. I play that one because Jen hates this one.
And so here we are.
So, all right. What was I getting? Oh, we were knee deep in this conversation of Magaza, like that. He hasn't said that yet, but wouldn't that be great? I think he should do it. If you're listening, or one of your peeps are President Trump, can you change the name to Magaza? That would be wonderful. Love it. So yeah, so that's what they're doing that. And again, my whole life I wanted peace out there. I mean, everyone has, but having that Jewish heritage, I always thought people were, displaced and troubled and all this. And yet, I don't know, with my new eyes, finding out who was actually living there, and we'll get into that next. But yeah, so he says the Gaza Strip be turned over to the United States by Israel in the conclusion of fighting. He says Palestinians like Chuck Schumer. See, it's again red team, blue team. Which team are you on? That's all they ever do. They fight with each other, and they do it so that way. Oh, is that still on the screen? How do I get that off there? Hold on. Oh, I gotta be over here. There we go. Yeah. They get you to fight. So now he's throwing Chuck Schumer out there saying he's Palestinian. He would have been resettled in a far safer, more beautiful community with new modern homes in the region. So he's, isn't it great? Sure, it'll be great if the war ends there and these people have an actual living space. But at the same time, at what cost did this all happen? You know what I mean? Because if another country came over here and said, I don't know, Tennessee, we don't like the way that's being run. We're going to level it. We're going to relocate those people and we'll move in someone else. I mean, kind of what they're doing in California right now. Gavin Newsom, he after the fires, he said that you're not going to be able to rebuild. And now they're going to put in government housing and house a ton of people in it. And it's the same kind of thing. They did it at Paradise, California. They did it in was it Lahaina? What was the Hawaii one? I'm forgetting. And Maui. And now they're doing it again. Where's that thing? Clickety click. We'll find it. It's over here somewhere. Do. Where to go? It's here. This one. Yeah. Where'd he go? Where'd you go? You're over here. See, I'm closing tabs, but then I'm opening new ones. See, that's not good. That's not good. Where is it at here? Okay. I found it. Here, in case you haven't seen this. Go here. Hello. Is this Gavin Newsom? Yeah. How can I help you? Well, I've noticed a lot of brush near my house, so could you have someone come clear the brush near my house so it doesn't burn down? No. Oh, okay. Well, can I do it? No. Oh, okay. Well, can I upgrade my roof? No. Oh, okay. Well, will you keep the reservoirs full? No. We need it for the fish. Oh, okay. Well, guess what? My house just burned down. Can I rebuild? No. Oh. Well, there's someone here offering me to buy the property. Can I sell my land? That'd be a no. Oh. Well, then what can you offer me? I've got $700 for you. Oh. Well, that's not going to help me that much. It's a loan. You need to pay it back. Well, I got to go. I got to meet with Oprah. Her fifth house burned. Well, it really didn't burn. Her garage to her fifth house burnt down. So I need to get over there. Bye.
Satellite tracking continues.
So, yeah. So that really happened. And in addition to that, let me put myself back on the screen. And here we are. In addition to that, this scene here that I used in this amazing production, by the way, this scene, if you can find it on the internet, is fantastic because this was some lady reporter, somebody lived there or both, and she was upset with him because they haven't done anything. And he's holding his phone and he's like, I'm talking to the president right now. And then, of course, she says, well, let me say something to him. Let me talk to him. And then he had to admit, well, no, he's tried calling the president several times and no one's answered. So, I mean, liars are going to lie. That's what they do, right? They say they're talking to the president. They say they went to Antarctica. It's all the same. So, let's see. Let me go back over here. So, yeah. So that's his plan to move people out of Magaza. And then, of course, see, they show you, they show you that, where is it? That they say that it's unlivable.
Did it?
For human beings. Do you really think that families can live their dream in a region that looks like this with no running?
The question.
Yeah, and like this guy is saying, who did it? You know, how did it get that way? We just won't discuss that. We'll just say how we're helping them. And again, when you talk about people, you're not talking about the individuals. You're talking about countries. That's why they keep it red team, blue team. That's why they keep it, are you Democrat, Republican? That's why they keep it Philadelphia Eagles or Chiefs, right? They keep you separated by these labels. They do it in religions too, you know. They separate us by labels. And so by doing that, it dehumanizes the whole thing. And so then when you see things like this on the internet, now, okay, so supposedly the Netanyahu people are the good guys and the other ones are the bad guys, right? But here's a family somehow just trying to make a living. And I'm certain it's not easy to do. And they have their goods out here. It looks like mostly groceries and stuff. And a Netanyahu truck comes through and purposely destroys everything. So now what did these people ever do to anyone? You know what I mean? Are these terrorists? Did they get a golden pager? No. As best I can see is they're just trying to ink out a living so they can support their family. And the good guys come through and do that. So there's a humanist angle to this story that they want to keep it away from you. They want you to think in absolutes and that the people living in Gaza bad, the people trying to be moved in, they're good. And they'll keep you at that level if you allow them to. But when you look farther into it, like right now, do I believe there's someone in an Arab country over there plotting on, like they had dinner with their family and they're sitting down and they're having a nice evening, and now they're going to plot how they're going to come over here and blow up my house? Absolutely not. They want to do the same things that we do. They want to have that nice meal. They want to have that family time. They want to put their feet up on the couch and put on Netflix. I don't know, but they're not plotting on coming over here. How many times throughout our history have we heard about how we had to go over there and take care of business before they came over here, right? And then they supposedly came over here, and then we had to go over there. But yet the guys that supposedly, allegedly flew the things into the tall things, we went and tore up the wrong country, right? It makes no sense. Like, what were we doing? Right in Afghanistan, we did that whole mess. Of course, we took over the poppy fields, and right after that, coincidentally, we had an opioid crisis in the United States. But that's a coincidence. And then we just left everything and literally left all our stuff and then left. And that was our Vietnam for, say, my generation and my children's generation age. Because those people came back from an unwinnable war with all the trauma, if they came back at all, with all the mental trauma or with the physical traumas that they went through. And the government said it was for nothing. And we just left all the equipment and left the area, and it got taken over and supposedly turned even worse. So what was that all for? It's banker wars, back and forth. Do real people that we know go and get injured and killed in these things? Absolutely. Do they do it for reasons that they weren't told? Absolutely. We find out years later that the war was not the right, what they said. And those are all, you can look them up. There's certain wars that they've admitted that they went in and for the wrong reasons. So what's the takeaway? Remember that they're human beings. And when they want you to fight each other because you're red team, blue team, the people like this that have this fruit stand, they didn't do anything that I know of and didn't deserve that. And so neither do some of these people that maybe they've lived there their whole lives, and their houses that are, you may be destroyed now, were handed down, and now they get displaced. Why? Because we say so. It's just amazing that we're in charge of the world, but apparently we are. I'm saying the United States, not the other we, but maybe we'll get there. Oh, by the way, another coincidence. There's natural gas in the Gaza Strip. Did you know that? So, well, it's not too bad then if we do take that over, because they found in, where is it? In the year 2000, they discovered a gas field. And so whoever controls that area, I would assume, gets to control the natural gas. So I'm sure that's wasn't even in their minds when we were deciding this. So just so you know, there's always seems to be something. Paradise, California is one of the largest areas of gold in the United States. I mean, the Maui fires, that's some of the most prime real estate there. Same thing with what just happened in LA and stuff. So, and don't forget, each one of these cities that get burned out for whatever the cause, they seem to be always the ones that were going to be turned into smart cities. Well, that's real convenient. So we can just level it and just build a smart city. And so as Gavin Newsom takes away your family's land, because maybe there's people that have lived in those areas, and I'm not talking the elite Hollywood rich people. They're fine. It's the people that like worked hard and made some money and bought a house and then probably have had it handed down, because with the taxes and everything, you can't buy any of those houses now for what they were supposed to sell for. So a lot of them are handed down. So now if the area gets leveled, you don't have the house to hand down. Maybe the government kicks you some money, buys you out for the greater good, just like they're doing with Gaza. They're doing it with these other places here in the United States. They don't treat us any different than they do these other countries. We just don't recognize it as easy, especially if we like Orange Man good and Biden bad. I get it. Look at all the things that Trump's doing, all the good things that he's doing. Well, why did all that stuff have to get to that point, right? Why is he the only one in government in the last 40 years? I think the last one was Kennedy. He was the last president that had an open mind. I'm going to find it. Too soon for a Kennedy joke? Anyways, suddenly no one else notices this but Trump. He's the savior. He's the good cop amongst a sea of bad cops, right? So now we get into who are we sending this money to? And I've done a breakdown before, but this gentleman does a really good breakdown, and we'll walk you through this. So,
the Israel in the Bible is not the same Israel as today. And I know what you're thinking, and you're already jumping into conclusions, but hear me out. People are over here fighting and debating over a...
uh-oh. It's getting hot in here. Okay. What do I do? My wife's cooking for me. How do I get rid of that sound so you guys don't have to sit through it? I'll give you a panda.
Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, brought to you by Silly Fan Man. Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Today's episode, How Pandas Are Made.
Panda!
Satellite tracking continues.
Yeah, everyone, this cat ran out of the room. Sarah was nearby. I was thinking I might grab her before I could show you on the show, but she bailed out of here too. Oh my goodness, smoky in here. It's fine. He just upset everybody's animal. Yeah, threat detected. Yeah, all the cats ran out of the room, and my dogs. They ran out of the room too. Better paint your roof blue. Yeah, we covered that once on the show. No, it wasn't Sarah. It was a fire alarm. That's what I was saying. It was a fire. We're waiting for trumpets, but that was a fire alarm. I didn't usher in the golden age. No. So, oh look, we are gonna get doomed. I tell you. But wait, there's more. Where is she? She's not happy. Okay, get them all, Sarah. Get them. Missed a few. Get them all. Come on, Sarah. There you go. Get them. Get them. Get them. Get them. Yeah, she's not happy. That noise was not. I know. I didn't do it. Mom did it. Yeah. Okay. All right. You'll be okay. All right. You good? They like seeing you. So I'm not a cat person. This cat, I'm a person of. All right. Ugh. There we go. Whew, gone. Right, Jupe? Okay. All right. Yeah, doomed. So, okay, where are we at? Did you miss anything? Oh my goodness. Jenny, Trish just got here. My goodness.
I don't feel dirty. I don't feel dirty.
Your headphones were in? Well, that's good, except that probably hurt your ears. That's why I couldn't hit the button fast enough to throw on the panda thing. And well, you caused havoc in the whole chat, Jeannie. This person still Pearl's dog's on top of him now. So yeah, it's quite havoc. Okay. All right, everyone calm down. How you doing, Sam? I talked about early in the show. Hi. I'm so lost. What happened to the where is it? Oops. What happened to the shofar? Well, as long as you've asked. That'll get rid of the rest of the dogs in the room. Hey, it's not my fault. Fishbowl. That was Fishbowl Media. Yeah, that's the real fire alarm. And you thank Trish for that. So, okay. Yeah, another threat detected, right? Ricola. Oh, no. Oh, no, flashbacks. Oh, sorry, Olive. Uba conduct under the desk. Oh, my goodness. You're half deaf. Well, that probably finished the other half off. Okay, what else we got here? Yeah, it's like a trumpet. Exactly. So my singing's better than my chauffeur playing. I'll give me that. Sound like an elephant. Yeah. Well, I should be so lucky. It sounded like anything that wasn't dying. Yeah, Aztec. Well, there you go. So, oh yeah, it's the chauffeur that's the problem, Trish. Sure. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, that's my theater. Okay. Oh my goodness, love you, love you, Christian. Christian's a shofar. I'm unimpressed. So he gets. Where is it? Fantastic. Okay. Sound like, yeah, I guess you're right. It did sound like a balloon letting out air. It was this balloon letting out air. All right, fine. Jenny can do it. I can't. So, oh, and that woke you up? Good, because it is late there in New York. I got to wrap this up. Sorry, it's already what? What is it there? 11 almost. So, okay. Oh, okay. Back to the breakdown. Thank you. Well, get me back on track. So, okay, let's go back in here. Clickety click. I did. I scared all the animals and woke everyone up. Okay. I did. Okay. We're understanding Israel. Now, well, I'll let him talk and then I can fill in the blanks if we're still not sure.
Misunderstanding of what Israel actually means. They think that the modern Israel is the same as the Israel God promised in the Bible.
Now, don't forget, the modern Israel was created in the 40s, they say by the Rothschilds, but it was created in the 40s. So it's definitely not in the Bible.
It's not. In the Bible, Israel means two things. First, Israel was a person. In Genesis 32, Jacob wrestled with God, literally fought him all night long. And after that, God changed his name to Israel, which means he struggles with God.
And he even gave him a limp leg from that fight, as the stories are going.
Second, Israel became a nation. Jacob's 12 sons became the 12 tribes of Israel, God's chosen people.
Right, because his name was changed from Jacob to Israel. So when you talk about the tribes and the chosen nation, it's the children of Jacob, which goes back to Abraham, who God gave the same promise that his children would be many nations. But Jacob was going to become he has the nation as a people, not a place.
But hear this out. They were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise. The nation of Israel existed under kings like David and Solomon. But guess what? They lost their land. They were exiled.
Because, once again, as I did a show on it, it's always the woman's fault. But for I almost said it again. Basically, the way it worked was that David was like one of God's favorites. And but David went and broke so many commandments. He coveted his neighbor's wife. He ended up sending that guy off to war, knowing that he would be killed in that war, so he could then take that woman for his wife. So because of that, it's another one of the rebellion things that the nation of Israel did that made them lose their land and broke up kingdoms and stuff. And when you go back to Solomon, it was the same thing. Solomon is said to have not only been the smartest man that ever lived, but the smartest man that ever will live. And the one thing that God told him, he's like, okay, so when Solomon asked for wisdom, the story is that God was really impressed, because if someone came to you and said, you can have whatever you want, power, riches, fame, whatever, Solomon said wisdom. And because of that, God filled in the rest, and he was the wealthiest, the powerful in his time. But the one thing God warned Solomon about was the women. He said, they're going to turn your heart away from me. And Solomon's like, no, I'll be fine. God warns him, not once, not twice, 3 times. God warns Solomon that the women are going to do this to him. And what does he end up with? I forget the count, but he had, I don't know, hundreds of wives and concubines, so many women. And what did they do? They built all these idols and worship areas and high places and all the things God told them don't let happen. it all happened. So twice throughout history the two people he named, there were reasons as to why God was angry with the nation of Israel and punished them, because they weren't listening, they weren't following him, and they were turning to other idols just like their ancestors.
Of Israel, God's chosen people. But hear this out. They were not chosen because of their land. They were chosen because of God's promise. The nation of Israel existed under kings like David and Solomon. But guess what? They lost their land. They were exiled because they turned away from God. Fast forward today, Israel was founded in 1948 as a political state. But that's not the same as biblical Israel. It's not ruled by biblical law. Not everyone there is a descendant of the 12 tribes. And the land does not define God's people. Faith does. So when people think that defending modern day Israel is the same as defending God's chosen people, no, you're missing the whole point of Scripture. God's Israel was never about land, but about a relationship with Him.
Bloop. And to hammer that home, you can go to the Scriptures where God says, this is in Revelation 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemies of them that say they are a J and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. And I'm not saying, again, remember the guy at the fruit stand that probably did nothing but sell fruit? Just because this word is in here that freaks everyone out that I can't even talk about on YouTube, it doesn't mean the people that he's talking about, the 12 tribes. Because see, it says that there are people they're pretending to be the chosen people. How about this one? Where'd it go? Yeah, Amos. It's right here. You've borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and Chiun as your images, the star of your God which ye made to yourselves. Yea, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch, the star of your God Remphan, figures which ye made to worship. Now will carry you away. And when you look up the star of Moloch or Remphan, you get this. You get this. That is the star of Remphan, of Moloch. Another name for Satan, basically. God of child sacrifices. That's the star. God warns us in a book written thousands of years ago. He warns us to watch for what? This particular sign from people that are pretending to be a people that they're not. He warns us of it. It's right there. And you're like, well, no, that's not that. That's the Star of David. But nay, the Star of David, where is it? It's one of these. Yeah. When did this start? So this supposedly gets its roots right here. Gershom Scholem writes the term Seal of Solomon was adopted by the Jays in the Islamic magic literature. While he could not attest to a certainty whether the term Shield of David originated in Islamic or Jay mysticism. It has nothing to do with what they're telling us. It has nothing to do with it. That is the star of Remphan, Moloch, every day of the week. And you can, even AI knows it. Even AI knows it. So when this state was created politically in 1948 and they adopted this, God warned you in advance that was going to happen. Prove me wrong. It's written about in a book. So when people are hating on this symbol, just remember, it's not the people from the Bible. It's not the original tribes that we're talking about. It's people that have, like our government, have taken over areas and are pretending to be someone else. Oh, but you can find it in really old. This thing's dated back to 973. By the way, it's interesting. Even when they're talking about things that deal with like Jews and Jesus and all that stuff, they use CE now because you got to take Christ out of it completely, right? So what this means is before Christ. But when you look at when was Revelation written? Revelations around 96 CE. So God warned you about it before these people stole it. In fact, like almost 1,000 years before, right? And it's used in Cabal and other mysticism and stuff. But that's not, Cabal is not Judaism. It's not. It's a completely different thing. And the Talmud. That's, if you follow the lineage of God, if you follow it through Abraham, and let me put a pause button in here. One of my dearest friends is Muslim. He's memorized the Quran. His children have memorized it. And I get it. He and I have a little difference of opinion on a certain area. But what I can tell you is, of the people that I've met on this earth, he's one of the kindest, most honest, most God-fearing, family-loving men I've ever known in my life. So basically, we've had many weird discussions, and he sometimes watches this show. So if you're watching, thank you. You're such a great friend. But you have to understand, we difference in opinion on how it's all going to shake out in the end. And so I'm hoping, praying that when it all breaks down, when it's supposed to, that he sees that I'm saying is true. And he figures it out then. Maybe it happens right at the last moment of life, or, whatever. And of course, he's thinking the same thing about me probably right now. It's just, this is my show and this is what I'm talking about. So, and I get it. You can say, oh, but if you read the Quran, it says this and that's bad. And this, again, go back to the guy with the fruit stand. The guy I know doesn't have any of those evil thoughts in his head that people want to point out come from that book. You can say the same. When I started reading the Bible, there's a lot of things that you question when God kills entire cities, including the men, women, children, and animals. You go, well, that's kind of messed up. And I did for a while, until you start getting deeper in the scriptures and realizing that there was some weird stuff going on. Like, you want to talk cloning. They were creating like these mutant races and stuff. And it was a cleansing at that time. But thank the Lord, we don't live in those times. Things were a lot different in Old Testament. Then Jesus shows up. And who is Jesus? He didn't come for the Israelites. He didn't come for the Hebrews. He didn't come for them. Because at that point, they already knew God. They knew what they were supposed to do. And any point after that, they just are rebellious. He came for the Gentiles. He came for the people that didn't know that God existed. And he showed them that, because there was no longer special chosen people. Because at the point where Jesus shows up, he does a cleansing for anybody that sinned. All you have to do is accept that gift. Period. End of story. Doesn't matter what religion you were or are. Once you do that. And that's the thing. They want us to fight over religion. It's, again, what team are you? Red team, blue team? Are you team this, team that? There's many religions, but there's only one God. And there's the path to him is a spiritual connection. You don't need to do it through a religion. You just have to make the choice yourself. You have to find some crazy guy like me, called Ceiling Fan Man. God keeps me humble, by the way, that sits here and tells you, hey, I was born and raised with the hat. And suddenly I realized that I was lied to about stuff. And so I didn't change. I just, as God says, my eyes were opened. Why did he let me have my eyes open? I can't answer that. He could. Part of it is to do this show, because I know for a fact, people have told me there's certain people that I have reached that had their own spiritual awakening. And that's such a blessing. I mean, that's why I keep doing this, is because I never know that one night when I say something that makes somebody actually look into these things I'm talking about. Because when you discuss anything religious, specifically the Bible or Jesus or anything, I mean, already looking, the numbers went down a bit. It just happens. It's a trigger. And all I'm asking is to take that step back and to look at it a different way and see. I mean, I'm taught in my teachings to take the information that I have and use it in my own life, so I'm an example for other people So that way, when I say these things, you look into it. And that's how he's using me, which is a wonderful blessing for me. So, yeah. So that's about the people. And then, of course, truth in movies lies in news. I'm not going to play it because it's a copyrighted show. But in 2000, no, when was this? Whenever the Golden Girls were on in the 90s or something. And this one Golden Girl says the solution to the crisis in the Middle East is to giving the Palestine. Try it again. The way to solve the Middle East is to give the Palestinians, there's the word, Greenland. Whoa, coincidentally, we're buying Greenland. So isn't that interesting? They tell you, it's like, did the Simpsons predict it? Are you saying that the Golden Girls predicted it? Anyways, thought that was interesting. So here you go. So we thought that as the United States, the people that, if you're not Team Netanyahu, here we gave the golden key to the White House, basically announcing, in my mind, who controls it, right? I mean, come on. It's like, again, it's right in your face. You're in control. There you go. And if you don't believe me, then this happened. The United States pushed in the chair for Netanyahu. So you know who's in charge, right? The guy that's pushing the chair in? No, the guy that's getting the chair pushed in for him. This, they let you know if you're just watching. And again, I played this clip with something else the other week, and it goes well with this too.
Everybody knows who's in charge. Me. Right? Yes, you. Of course. Of course. Of course.
Come on, people. You all have to be able to see this on some level. Even if you like the orange guy, I'm telling you, he's doing a lot of correct moves, but they crashed the country in order for him to come in and make you, fall in love with the guy. I'm telling you. Oh, and if you think Twitter is no longer censored because Elon is in charge of it. So here's this political poll, and they did a poll. They just asked a question. Should the United States end all aid to Israel? And 68% said yes, 25% said no, and 6% said not sure. And then again, let's get rid of the music. And then whoever this guy is, Ari Sandberg, he says, shut this poll down. And people say, well, how come you have to talk in like these riddles with letters and stuff? Other channels do it. Yeah. Okay. Well, you always have that too. So there you go. You can't even question things. I'm telling you, can't even question them. Now, let's get into it. But wait, Trump's a Christian. Okay. Well, we've covered this before, but maybe it needs revisiting. First off, he's not. He converted to Judaism 2 years ago, and this was back in 2019. I can't make that article any bigger. Oh, there it is. So there you go. He was converted. So there's that. That's number one. Where's number two? Where is it? They had a timeline on this thing. Of course, they visited the wall, of course, But, oh, yeah, he was crowned king of the Jews.
Okay. Give thanks to Hashem for his work.
So he actually got a crown.
And women's sports. Do we?
So you got that, and then yeah, where is it?
Well, Mr. Trump expressed his gratitude and discussed his efforts on the behalf of Israel, including recognizing Jerusalem as the capital and the Golan Heights as part of Israel.
So he's doing all these moves, right? And in addition to that, he's got, oh, I can't show it. Computer locked up. Am I still on screen? Okay. All right, maybe we'll come back. Stop that. See if that helps. All right, we'll just close that tab. It was something was wrong with it. He just has rewards on his wall. And was there anything else on that? I think that was it. Yeah, and I've played it where he actually just declares he's not a Christian. So where is it? Wait, do I still have that? Maybe I have that in a drop. It would go easier that way. Where is it? Is it this one?
Thank you, Richards. He's one hell of a man. Thank you, Richard.
Oh, okay. That was nice of him, but that's not what I was looking for. See how nice he is? He tries to swoo me, too. All right, well, I'll pull it off of this. See if it works off of this Twitter tab. Because I don't see it in my drops anymore. Clickety click. Yeah, this one.
You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years. You know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian.
It's when you put the words to it, it says I'm not Christian. But regardless, 2 years, and that article proves that he's converted. So why am I bringing all this up? What does it all matter? Okay. Because he's now creating, once again, something I should get behind as a Christian. He's creating the first White House office of faith.
Without God, we are isolated and alone, but with God, the scripture tells us all things are possible. Well, look at me. I'm standing before you today. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here.
That's interesting he's saying that. But anyways, and don't forget, the devil knows scripture better than anyone. I mean, he can quote it better than anyone. So just because you say you know scripture, you know the Bible, or you can even say the word Jesus, doesn't mean you put the power of the faith into it. That's the thing about liars. They lie. So that's a quote from my wife. You'll take that one. Okay, good. Okay. And I missed, there was one other, Mary Magdalene. Thank you very much. You're very sweet and very much appreciated. I didn't want to miss that. So, okay. You shouldn't be here either. Yeah, you're jumping ahead, Jenny. We're jumping ahead. Let's see. Yeah. Red dye or ketchup, they say, right? It's always been fixed. Yeah. Yeah. The Noahide laws. Look into that. That's no bueno, Gressy. That is actually a cute face for a bear, but usually they're terrifying. So, all right. Where are we at? I get everything. Okay. I think so. Yeah. Isn't that bear? We'll put that back up. Where is it? I lost it. This one. Look at that bear. Looks like it's smiling. Okay. All right. Where are we at now? Yeah, I have nowhere else to go to. You want it? You want the? Okay. You asked for it. You got it, Toyota.
I got nowhere else to go. I got nowhere else to go.
It's nominated for an Oscar in that scene. All right. So yeah, he's creating the first office of faith to fight for a change, anti-Christian hate, because it seemed like you could make comments about you couldn't make comments about pretty much anyone, but Christians are always been fair game. And yet he's creating this office to help with that. Why wouldn't I be behind that? Well, he chose Pastor, quote, Paula White. Well, who's that? Well, she's one of these TV evangelists that says wherever she goes, God rules.
God rules. When I walk on White House grounds, God walks on White House grounds.
And she also says in here that, let's see, she declares the White House as holy ground because she was standing there, right? And where I stand, she says, is holy, right? And this one, to say, oh, thanks. You saw that was empty. You're a sweetheart. Yes, you are. Even though you set off the fire alarm and scared everyone's cats. Oh, was that me? I'm multi-talented. So she says, if you say no to President Trump, you're saying no to God. Okay, wait a minute. I didn't read that in my Bible. So that's kind of taking a leap there that I'm not ready to do. She says we're in a spiritual war. I agree with that. And she says, let every demonic network that's aligned itself against the purpose, against President Trump, let it be broken and torn down. And she uses Jesus's name for that. Okay. And you're like, oh, come on. That's not that big of a deal, is it? You know, and the fact that she speaks in tongues. Now, I understand that's biblically written, speaking in tongues. But if you read the teachings of Paul, which I highly recommend because he's an amazing writer, he says it'd be better if no one spoke in tongues, if you didn't have an interpreter there telling the people what they're hearing. Because if somebody walked in, and he even says it then back in the day, if someone walked in and you're trying to tell them the teachings of Jesus and they hear this, where is it? I mean, they're going to turn around heads for the hills, right? I would. So, yeah, it's probably fake tongues, right? So you're like, okay, well, I'm not completely convinced yet. How bad could this woman be? Oh, nay, it gets worse. So you got this. How about this one? They're doing it wrong. Here's her and this other pastor.
It's starting right now.
And they discuss Christian women should watch pornography with their husbands to find out what he likes. So they're encouraging people to watch pornography. Where is it? Is it here?
Don't know. Part of it is, ladies, if you don't know what he likes, figure it out. Get a book. Go get some porn. Do something. Whatever. If he likes to watch porn with him. You know what I mean?
You're doing it wrong, right? You're doing it wrong. It's like that Pastor Duffy that says he looked through the Bible and couldn't find anywhere that lying and deception is immoral. And then I found, there's like easily 20 passages. You can keep looking. I'm sure it's even more than that. Yeah, they're doing it wrong. This is a false teacher that he's hired to this post to protect the Christians. You see what they're doing? Once again, they're mocking the Christians right in their faces. And oh, it's the orange man. He's doing good. He's saving us from this, that, and the other. And look, Doge found 23 million over there. They don't see the other hand. It's the magician's trick. He's a salesperson. He sells you shoes, Bibles with his name on it, tokens, trading cards, perfume. The list goes on and on. There's hats. There's the red hat. There's the black hat. On and on and on. He sells more, honestly, than the YouTubers that sell stuff. It's, and people eat it up. They were even putting things on their ear after he got his ear supposedly torn up. So like, okay, that's the worst that you got. I don't know. Maybe that's all. That's not so bad, ceiling fan man. That's what you call me. And I say, oh, nay. She's been married 3 times. She's had numerous affairs, including one with this guy, Benny Hinn, another televangelist, where they were seen coming out of a hotel together while he's still married. In fact, the husband that she left on her second marriage, she was still married to the first husband when she was having an affair with him. She loves nothing more than reading a passage out of the Bible.
Prayed for thee.
And then taking that Bible and throwing it to the ground, right? Because that's what a good pastor does. She's in charge of helping with Christians, and she's like the first lady of faith in the White House or whatever. He's making a whole office on it. Yeah. But she's okay with, I don't want my coat on the ground, so could you just take my coat? But meanwhile, I'll just toss the Bible to the ground because it's nothing, right? It's no big deal. You hold it up, you point to it, you just throw it on the ground. So there's that. Again, each one of these things, maybe I wouldn't, but somebody could give her a pass. But when you start adding up all these things that she blatantly does, there's no spiritual leader here. It's fake smoke and mirrors once again. That's all it is. Throwing the Bible on the ground again. Just constant. So is that it? Oh, nay, says Ceiling Fan Man. Where'd it go? She's a Zionist who she met with the Third Temple obsessed rabbis in Jerusalem, which when you read through, and she's doing more of this stuff. So it sounds like spells to me. It really does. And then there's no Third Temple discussed, by the way, in that whole thing in the Bible. That's Kabbalah. That's that folklore from the Talmud and stuff. There was 2 temples that were destroyed that God said was going to happen. He doesn't talk about building a 3rd temple and then destroying it, because if he did, you'd have to take it as its word. So if he's talking about a 3rd temple being built and then destroyed, you have to have sacrifices in it. Well, there hasn't been sacrifices since the last temple. They've stopped sacrifices after Jesus. So someone would have to start the sacrifices again, which, they're discussing, again, people that believe that it's part of biblical culture, but it's not. Again, it's not in the Bible. But you'd have to believe that they're going to sacrifice this red heifer and then eventually stop sacrificing again after they build this 3rd temple. That kind of like when the Elon says we're going to Mars, or they say we're going to the moon, and they keep putting it off and putting it off. This 3rd temple was supposed to have been built a while back. I even was a sucker enough and I bought a coin to help it. So you're welcome. And what's interesting on this coin that I have here, I don't know if it's in focus on there, but it's got Trump and who is it? King Cyrus on it, fulfilling 70 years and talking about building the 3rd temple. So they've been talking about that a while, but again, not biblically written. It's not in there. It's more folklore, just like the star Moloch has been repurposed for the star it is now. And so she's meeting out with rabbis that are talking about that. Coincidentally, so is the new Secretary of Defense talking about how the 3rd temple will be rebuilt. So there's that. Again, not talked about in the Bible. So here's the last nail in the coffin, I'd say. And this article came out 2 years ago now, so a year and a half. Trump's faith advisor says Christians must learn from Jews and not convert them. So, and does she have demonic eyes in this? Every photo I see of her, she has such mascara or something. But Supernatural TV show told me to watch out for this, just so you know. Their eyes go black. So pretty much that's plenty for me. I don't need what more information I would need on her to know that it's a false teacher. So Yes, she is so sus is happening. So there's that. So enough of her. And then there's this again. It's called control opposition. Basically, they make one side of the government so terrible that the people flock to the other side of the government to protect them from the bad side of the government without realizing they're all on the same side. And you can prove it because they go to their parties together. They get the weddings and stuff. How many years did he say that he was going to put her in jail? And then when he finally got into office, he didn't put her in jail. And then when he didn't put her in jail, he said, "Well, I just thought it was a bad look to have put a former president in jail." Right? Let's see. I think it's this one. What's that? Doug just showed up? Well, he's really tardy. Where is it?
I don't feel tardy.
Right? So, do I think celebrities are fallen angels? Absolutely, there's some of them. Maybe I'll do that again. I've gone over, a lot of people have, but when you see these old pictures that they look like the same people, like you can find ones of Matthew McConaughey and all these different stars, Nicolas Cage, and you can see him going back through time. Even some of them, there's like a Michael Jackson one from the Egyptian days. So like I said earlier in the show, it's like Highlander, they just keep reinventing themselves as a new character. But the fallen angels are still here in some way. And so I'm certain that they can show themselves to us in ways and then hide themselves in other ways. So, yeah, two wings of the same bird. Yep. And then again, they just want us to fight over which side do you like. So what is this? They do it over and over with everything. Right. Exactly. Jezebel lives in that lady. Yeah, probably. So, okay. All right. So where are we at here? You like that coin? There was a long time ago when I first showed that coin, because again, I didn't know what I was doing, and I thought I was helping. And there's one guy, he got so mad and used to send me hate mail and stuff about it. And so I made a point of course, showing it like every show for a while. Because that's the Aries in me. You tell me not to do something, that's the thing I'm going to do. So, and yeah, all those TV evangelists, I believe, Christian, they're all bad. Yeah, they're all bad and frauds. Yep. And master masons. Yeah. Yes, exactly. Jesus was the ultimate final sacrifice. So they're not going to be doing it anymore. So, all right. Let's see. Let's go back down here. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, what do you got here? Yeah. If God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell and delivered them to chains of darkness to be reserved in the judgment. But there are some, I believe, that are still here with us. I don't know for certain, but because there are certain angels he talks about. Like I read the book of Enoch too. It's pretty interesting stuff. But there are certain angels that taught us war and weapon and stuff, and they're in really bad places with stones, spikes, and darkness and stuff. But we definitely have the fallen angel technology, and we definitely have demonic presence on Earth. And what I find interesting, demons, well, what I feel demons are, again, this is what I'm thinking. You had giants, which are an abomination. And so when they died, because when the flood happened, no flesh survived. So I know there's certain people that say, oh, they hung onto the boat or they buried underwater. No, God, they all died. Well, if you have an abomination that wasn't supposed to exist and the soul leaves it, it has nowhere to go, right? Oh, it has nowhere else to go.
I got nowhere else to go.
Right? And so those demon those souls from the Nephilim, they had nowhere to go. And since we are an enclosed system, written about in scripture, water above and below, so nothing gets in or out. It's a terrarium basically, and that's why it's self-cleansing, and the resources continue because it's all inside here with us, right? Here we are.
And so here we are.
The demons were. So they're flying around or whatever they do, looking for people to inhabit. And you can go the whole gamut about the discussions that people have about how schizophrenia is just multiple demons, and you're like, "Wow, that's nonsense and stuff." We don't do, but if you believe in it, back in the day, that's basically was Jesus's job, right? Other than going around teaching everyone, and of course, the final sacrifice was really why he was here. But along the way, what's he doing? He's casting out demons through the whole book there. And there's, the lunatic that had multiple, they call legion and stuff. And so, yeah, so these demons have nowhere to go, and they just keep recycling and waiting for a host, and there's multiple ways that they can attach themselves to you. Even if you're, a God-fearing Christian, they can still attach themselves to you. Well, like, for instance, they mentioned on that false teaching that they encourage people to watch porn. But the Jezebel spirit, it's a real thing. You don't have to listen to me or believe me, but it's out there even if you don't believe in it. It's kind of funny. You cannot believe in air, but it exists, You cannot believe in the existence of God, but he exists. And so you cannot believe that demons are flying around there, and the ways they have portals into your system would be through your eyes, watching pornography and getting a Jezebel spirit. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, not to sound like the prude, but it's God changes your heart when you go through this process. And the thing is you're going to be obsessed in that, and it takes you further away from God, because whatever time you might have to spend in your regular life, it's now being taken up by that. And who started all the main ones that are like free? And don't forget, if something's free, that means you're the product. They all come from the same, area that we were just discussing. How about that? They're Netanyahu people. How about that? Okay. So you've got that. Alcohol. Now, I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those. What's going on my voice tonight? I'm not one of those people that are like, oh, you can't drink anything. Because when I see what God says, first of all, Jesus is turning water into wine. And he states in there basically that you can have wine, but don't get drunk. Because once you get past the point where you're conscious, you're sober, because he says stay vigilant and sober. Once you get past that stage, that allows you open to demonic possession. And you can find on YouTube all kinds of people that said that they were able to, some people are like sensitive to those things, and they could see or feel the demons hanging outside the bars and stuff, latching onto people. So you can do things to have a demon latch onto you. It doesn't mean because you're saved that you can't have that influence. The Satan tried to tempt Jesus himself, right? So he's walking around like a roaring lion, waiting to pounce for that one moment of weakness. And the thing is think about this. If you're having trouble and you're praying on this, God, not just God is listening to you, Satan hears what you're saying. So if that's a weakness, then he's going to send everything he has at that until you finally break down. That's the whole point of this spiritual battle. And so those are the things that we're supposed to reach out to God and say, I can't. I mean, there's plenty of people that have solved, quote unquote, solved these issues on their own. And if you have that kind of strength and will, God bless you. But if you've been addicted to alcohol or drugs or porn or whatever your addiction is, it never goes away. Running marathons? That's on the list? Okay. But whatever your addiction is, it never goes away. You might keep it in check. You might suppress it, and you might do a wonderful job of it, and good for you. But eventually, We're human. And Satan's going to just keep chipping away until he wears you down. And for me, what I found, the only thing that can solve that permanently is that's one of the ones that you give to God. But you have to want it. God reads your heart before he hears your voice. In fact, a lot of times he tells you not to speak because he says you're saying too many things. It's just unnecessary because he's already read your heart. So if you really want to escape from whatever that addiction is that's going on in your life, and maybe you've already done this. See, there's other things too that really get confusing because God's timeline and our timeline are totally different. I'm experiencing some sadness in my life that I really want to be ended right away. Well, not my life, the sadness. I want it to be fixed. And God knows it's in my heart and he knows what's troubling me. And yet I wait and it doesn't go away. And you have to remember people like Daniel gets thrown in jail, and Joseph gets thrown in jail, and all these things happen to people, the men of God, and they pray, and God hears them, but it gets done in God's timeline for a purpose, even if we don't understand what that purpose is. Like my situation I'm dealing with, I don't understand why I have to wait, but I understand I have to wait for some better outcome. So that's where you put your faith in God. So if you're dealing with one of these troubles, addictions, and even if you've beaten it, you need to sit down and have that conversation with God and say, this is one that you need to handle for me. You need to take care of this for me because I can't do it alone. And that's what he's there for. Why doesn't he just do it anyways? Because then there's no free will. You have to ask for the help. You can't just expect God to make everything roses because you don't strengthen your faith that way. You don't get a gym membership and never go and then wonder why you're not getting in better shape. You don't ask for a deeper walk of faith with God and not have troubles in your life. I mean, John even says, or was it John? No. Who is it that says we should revel or have joyous something about our tribulations in life, like it's a good thing. Yeah, that sounds weird, but it's true, because that means God feels that we can be tested, but that doesn't mean that's when you walk away from him. That's when you cry out to him harder. And so you say to him, it's like that story, I've told it before. You got a guy he invites Jesus over for dinner. Just go with it, okay? You're watching Ceiling Fan Man. Here, let's see. I'll set the stage. Okay, so now we're just picturing this. He invites Jesus over for dinner. Come sup with him, as it says in the Bible. So he comes over. So then there's a knock at the door. And the guy opens the door, and it's Satan. And he's like, hey, it's Satan. And Satan just messes with him. And so afterwards, he says to Jesus, he's like, hey, how come you let that happen to me? And Jesus says, well, this isn't my house. So you had to answer the door. So then, of course, fast forward and he invites him back for another dinner. I don't know why it's the super fans, but that's all I have. And so Jesus is there, knock at the door. The guy, like this time, he actually looks through the people. He sees it's Satan. He goes to Jesus, say, hey, Satan's at the door. Can you answer it for me? He goes, it's not my house. So he takes the keys and he hands them to Jesus and says, here, I give you the house. It's your house. So Jesus gets up, answers the door, and binds and casts Satan away as he says he does every time. He beats him. He's the final battle. He's already won. So the idea behind that, ridiculous story is that you have to turn these things over to God. You have to, what do they say? There's what's that serenity prayer kind of thing. There's certain things that, yeah, you might beat it for a while, but eventually it's going to win. Because if Satan knows that's your weakness, he's just going to chip away at that till the end of time. He's got plenty of time. We don't. We're on the clock once we're born. And so to wrap this whole speech up is, if you're struggling with anything, don't forget, even if you're working on your own, don't forget to ask for help, because that's what he's there for, and he'll give it. And he'll, because the Lord's Prayer, it says, lead me not into temptation, but deliver me from evil. In other words, that's what God's there for. Satan will try to tempt you like he did Jesus in the wilderness, and God's there to not lead you to temptation, to deliver you from the evil. Okay? That was quite a speech. So hopefully that made sense.
That makes no sense.
All right, maybe not. But for those few people that maybe it made sense, I'm glad I went on that tangent. Hopefully I wasn't just hitting my head against it. Man, that one's loud. I should probably turn that one down. I woke everyone up again. Well, at least it wasn't a fire alarm. Make it make sense. Exactly, right? I like that. Oh, good. Oh, look at that. I'm getting good reviews. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you. I'm with you, Gabby. That one person, maybe there's just one person that'll hear it tonight. And that's my blessing that God allows me to do this. So, all right. Yeah, I don't know. Again, everyone do their own thing. But, in moderation, don't get drunk. Jesus says that. But talk with him. Put these things out to the Holy Spirit if you're not sure. But definitely you have to pray for the full armor of God. And part of the armors of God, one of them is the Word of God. And if you're not looking at the Bible, then you're missing out on a big piece of your armor, just so you know. That's part of the full armor of God. So, okay. We all good there? Let's see. Where are we at? And I only need 3 more likes to 100. Is that what you're saying? So please, thank you. Okay. Please and thank you. Those are the magic words, right? Okay. Where are we at? Let's go all the way down to the bottom here. Oh, thank you, Cece. Where'd it go? It's not playing. Uh-oh. My computer's acting up. All right, there you go. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Yeah. What is this? Thank you. The beard's looking good. Thank you. Yeah, I play around with it. Again, I try to shake up AI so that way if they ever want to create a fake one of me, will it have a beard or not? So I can always, I might work on the eyebrows, shave those off, for the hair. Who knows? There's a cat attacking my feet. What do you want, honey? Let me see if I can get her. She's pretty fast. She's back. Hi, everyone. Hey, Sarah, why don't you do the rest of the show and I'll leave? No? All right. There she goes. She did. She kept messing with my feet. Yeah, what's up with that? She's getting it back into the stardom. Maybe she'll fight me again. We used to karate together. So, oh, thank you. We got Cece's a new member. Look at that, Jeannie. It's beautiful. Yay. All right. Where are we at? What's that? Yeah, that was the Sarah sighting. Isn't that great? Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's clear some of these tabs then. A while back we were discussing this. Oops. Hi, Sarah. We're doing the show. I'll be done in a minute here. Yeah, right. Did you really think I was going to put her in jail? Let's see. And then Marika, I haven't talked to her in a long time, but she's still kicking it and showing wonderful things like this. More coinky dinks. So it's like a repeat, right? Everything seems to be on repeat. Because I discussed this, was it last week? Yeah, about how in 1961, when they also had the Bel Air fire, the plane crash killed the skating team for the U.S. And then now 2025, another, they had the LA fires and the plane crash kills the skating team. It's just on repeat. As the Bible says, there's nothing new under the sun. Of course, that's been changed to there's no new thing, but it's the same idea. Okay. So thank you, Marika, for that one. What else? Did I go? Let's see, this way. Yeah. He never mandated it. He's only fast tracking the B system to expose it. And if you can't see how AI tracking and the V are a 5D chess move to catch the bad guys, then you're blind, right? I couldn't have said it better, Spider-Man. My sheep hear my voice and they follow me. Oh, and don't forget, this is Daddy Brain Chip. We've covered this before, but he wears the Baphomet costume. In fact, it was on his Twitter page for like an entire year. And the other person in this is his mother. Nothing to see there. So that's who's coming to save us. Him and RFK Jr. The Pfizer CEO says people that spread misinformation are criminals. And then you should do this. Alexa, who paid the largest criminal fine in U.S. history? And then we talked about Johnson & Johnson, what they did with Band-Aids. What's this? Oh, shoot. That reminds me. How do we get out of this? Clickety click. Get out of that. See, we covered that. Oh, we didn't go this way. Go this way. Clickety click. You guys are okay if I keep you a little bit later? Why not? Where else you got to go? Probably to bed. Yeah, so let's see. You got that one. How about that one? That one's pretty good with the Star Moloch. And there you go. That's the Make America Healthy Again. You guys are being played right in front of your own eyes, and you're paying for it, and you're loving it. You're loving it. So this was the best one. Chip for your brain from Mars. Q, that one says, just keep waiting. Trust the plan. Get your popcorn. Maybe it's Maybelline. That one's really funny. Make America Hopium Addicted again. Surveillance for safety. That's a good one. That's where all the money that this guy allegedly and Big Balls saved us, $500 billion is going to this guy from Oracle to create new jabs created by AI that you can implant directly in your brain, probably by this guy. So, I don't know. See it or don't. See him as the hero or see him for, what he's really doing. Yes, is he doing some good things? Absolutely. But at the same time, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, we covered the Spider-Man butt, and we covered that, and we covered that. Okay, I think this. And when you ask God to speak to you, don't forget, he did. You just got to pick it up and read it. And get the KJV. It's hard to read once you figure it out. It's not that hard. But the new ones being written, they're purposely leaving things out. There's a scripture that says that certain demonic possessions are so deep, they only come out, and Jesus says this, through fasting and prayer. And now the word fasting is taken out of some of the new translations. So I'm just saying that they're changing things, and it's best to try to get as close to the originals as we have been given. As far as I'm concerned, is the KJV. So science and religion are opposites. No, science is the study of God's creation. That is the mic drop right there. And yeah, this was good. Let's see if I can back this up. Stop talking. There. Let's see. Tell me if you can hear this.
When God wanted to create fish, he spoke to the sea.
Did everybody 5x5? Anybody? Yeah, I know you're in the past a little bit. We'll see. Okay, good. 55. That works.
When God wanted to create fish, he spoke to the sea. When God wanted to create trees, he spoke to the earth. When he wanted to create us, he spoke to himself. What happens when you take a fish out of the sea? It dies. What happens when you take a tree out of soil? It dies. What happens when we become disconnected from God? We die. God is our natural environment. We were created to live in the presence of God. It is only in him that life exists. When God wants...
Amen. That's wonderful. Not sure who this is, but Jesse S. Bean. And then there, I'm like, please, Trump, if you're watching, or your people, make it so. Okay, let's see. So stop that. Let's see, did I get through all this? Let's see. We'll go back. Clickety click. Lots of clicking going on. Okay, that's where we are. And here we are. Did I finish on my my spiel about all that? Oh, okay. Well, just to clear these tabs. For those of you playing along at home, this demonic person became another member of the Black Eye Club. And, you know, they've been saying that they get a black eye because they hit their face on a cabinet or something. But again, none of that makes sense. But this guy literally said he woke up with a black eye. So, and that's a black eye, not a black guy. I don't know. Maybe he did that too. But, and then also he's got the same, the Trump ear damage, I guess. So did this happen a long time ago? Okay. I don't know. It showed February 2nd, but somebody could have just reposted it. We are in the dead internet. So I don't know if it's still going on. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, before I finish that, we have yet another, really tardy person, and that'd be Donut. Hi, Donut. Glad you're here, but you got called out because they say you just walk in the room. Are you tardy?
I don't feel tardy. I don't feel tardy.
Where are you? It says good morning. Are you one of my upside down people in Australia? I'm curious. Oh, has that guy been dead? Okay, you're right. Maybe, but he checked out a year ago. Okay. All right. Yeah, I look like Boris Karloff. Not scary at all. So, yeah, I don't know. All right, so that happened a while ago, but still, it fit in here, didn't it? But you know what got me thinking about that, and that came up, of course. That's how that works. I saw somebody mention this weirdness about Stephen Colbert. Now, did you all know this? And this was brand new news to me, that he has a weird ear due to like some tumor when he was a kid or something. Like he's got this one ear that sticks out like a Vulcan ear. And I swear I used to watch this show back in the day, and I don't remember this. I don't know if this is a Mandela effect or I'm just not observant, but does everyone else remember the wonky ear for Stephen Colbert? Oh, you're in Scotland. I don't have, I'm horrible at accents. Okay. I was going to try to do one, but I'm glad you're here. It's fun to hear people from all over the plane that we live on. But does anybody else remember this wonky ear? Or is it just me? Okay. You remember the wonky ear? All right. I don't anyways, but I guess I didn't pay much attention to him. But now that's all I see. You all remember the wonky ear? Okay. But that's all I see. So anyways, and then there's this photo which comes around the internet every so often. There aren't any coincidences because they're actors portraying parts the roles that they have to play. I mean, he even calls her Michael. And in this picture, you have Barry Satur, I think, of course, Bill Gates, and Michael. I forget what his last name is. They admit this. And he calls her Michael. Whatever. The same things I'm saying Joan Rivers got killed over, allegedly, supposedly. And if you're like, oh, he's just making stuff up now, it's ridiculous. Let's not forget that the patent for the cryptocurrency system that's basically connected to your body through mRNA technology, most likely. The patent number for that is 2020 060606. It's right there. You can look it up yourself. But you're telling me it's either the biggest troll in the world or they're falling right along to biblical scripture, the mark of the beast. And they have this patent of the mark that goes into you so you can buy and sell things through your body, and its patent number is 060606. Oy vey. And then, this is written about too. I've covered a few of these ones, but doesn't mean it all happens at once. But here's another one. This river has turned to blood. Again, another biblically, scripturally written thing, usually bringing about, Armageddon and things like that. So I'm sure it's just another algae bloom. That's what they usually blame this on. And this one is in Argentina. So, and again, the authorities are baffled and taking samples to determine what caused it. So, what's next? And then this weirdness keeps happening. Have you seen this?
Observation, but I'm interested to hear all of your thoughts. We are all very lucky.
Are you watching this guy's lips? He's saying the exact same time as she's saying it.
We are all very lucky that we are across the channel and we are the far side of Europe. But Ukraine is actually much closer than all of us think.
So what's up with that? Which one's handling who? Which is it's like a ventriloquist act. And it's not the first time. There was this one.
Page 55 from the committee's interview with FBI employee Roya Demlow, who you just spoke about, which took place on July 17, 2023.
I mean, how is this happening so many times? And then there's a third one with RFK.
Here's the nominee saying that they're willing to work with me, amounts to exactly 0.
Isn't that something? I don't know. It's an interesting thing that he put three of them together, which has made it easier for me. But isn't that wild? Fascinating, I think. Okay. What's next? Oh, and they're like, oh, well, now that Trump's in, they'll stop spraying. But no, nay. This is a government plan for 5 years of geoengineering. And so it's not over yet. And so they're still spraying the skies. 5-year study on how to block the sun, because that's, because that makes sense in this inverted world. And so yeah, I think it has a date on it even. One of these showed it. Yeah. Here's $4 million on their cloud seeding project. And that ends April 30th, 2026, allegedly, supposedly. But, they got bridges out here that they charge you to go across, and they said once the bridge is paid off, they'd stop. But, of course, they never did. So just because they have a date on here doesn't mean they're going to actually stop. But, hey, how come Trump hadn't fixed that yet? I'd like that to be fixed. We could stop doing that. I'm okay with I'm all set with the fake fog that we get and stuff. I don't need that crap anymore. Thank you very much. Then there's this guy.
I hadn't seen him in years. We used to agree on everything.
Oh, here.
I had this friend of mine. I hadn't seen him in years. We used to agree on everything. And we just ran into each other on the street recently. And a completely different person. He's on a completely different algorithm, I tell you. No, it's weird. I ran into this guy. We used to agree on everything. We start talking about the Tartarian Empire, okay? But all these beautiful buildings we see down here, they weren't built by us. They were built by a hidden civilization that we don't know about. And the mud floods came, and we wouldn't even know about this ancient civilization if you're nodding your head here. Yeah. We wouldn't know about any of this unless Admiral Larry Bird had gone to Antarctica and went over the ice wall and talked to the reptilian overlords from the planet Nibiru. And we find out about the Tartarian, all this stuff, right? And I'm talking to my buddy, and he doesn't know about any of this shit.
Oh, shoot. It's fantastic. Yeah, that sounds like a conversation at our house. All right. What's next? Yeah. And I'm not just beating up on one religion. It's all of them. If it's an organized religion, it's been corrupted at this point. Right? I mean, there's plenty of, he wears a pagan fish hat and we've gone over this cross and stuff, but then there's this little monster symbol that he's got there, which is also, I just lost it. Dang it. Which is in the fields and the aliens have put out in Peru and all that, and millions of years ago. It's just weird stuff. But okay, enough of that. What about this? So apparently the Catholics, the Spanish Catholics, they pray for souls in purgatory with, as it says, a beautiful biblical tradition. Nothing about this looks holy to me. It looks like an evil clans meeting or something. But if this doesn't look demonic to you, I don't even want to play what they're saying. It's probably just evil demonic spells. But how can anybody look and go, oh, such a beautiful biblical tradition? And then they have smoke coming out of their purses and stuff. Like none of this. I don't remember reading about any of this in the Bible. So they've corrupted religion. They've taken your relationship with God and they've turned it into fighting over what's real and what's not. When in actuality, there's only one truth. There's only one real spiritual connection. Jesus died on the cross for your sins. And when you figure that out, you realize all of this nonsense is demonic. There's nothing about that that's Christ-like, just saying. Biblical Christianity is unpopular, and popular Christianity is unbiblical. That's right, Jim. I'm no longer looking for the sign of the times. I'm listening for the sound of the trumpet. I agree with that one. Oh, that's what I was going to do. We can't end the show without. There's people that sit here all night waiting for scary space news.
This week in scary space news.
We were discussing how, have a sip of wine or so, but don't get drunk. Meanwhile, in Satan's world, scientists have found a giant alcohol cloud in space, enough to make 400 trillion pints of beer. It's hard to even say these with a straight face, obviously, Jeannie. I mean, come on. No, you look it up. It's a news story. It's not just here. You can find it elsewhere. It's ridiculous. So there's that. And, oh, yes, I forgot. Trump is looking to Greenland for his outer space. Why? Did you know that it already has a space base operated by Space Force on it? So Space Force is on Greenland, and we're going to use it somehow for the space race. So there's that. And all right, we don't need that. We needed that for filler, but we'll do that next time. Covered the stars, David, Revelation. I guess that's it. That's everything there, and that's us. Okay. Oh, I know. I have this. Clickety click. Oops, wrong button. Dang it. That one. This goes along with with my I'm getting tired with my scary space news. Again, if you haven't played this game at home, go and look at this thing in high definition. It's such a joke that we bought into this, and I did. I mean, I was a NASA fanboy too, you know. And so you got paper mache and seams that have holes in them and stuff, and construction paper, and it's just a mess. And that's what went to the moon and back, right? I mean, look at this one. The 1972 Apollo 16 lunar module, which cost $50 million. I mean, it looks like a joke, but this is real. Go look these things up. Meanwhile, here's the SR-71 Blackbird, which cost $34 million. Now, which one would you want to actually fly in? Well, I don't think this thing even flies, but you know what I mean? Would you take that underwater and be submerged underwater? No, but you're going to go to vacuums of space. Sure, okay. And don't forget, like we said earlier, they're all actors. They even have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So, and if you take this backwards, because, you know, Aleister Crowley likes to do everything backwards, you get the word alien, A-L-I-E-N, alien. So that's kind of cool, I guess. Is that it on that? Yeah. And for those of you that observe the sun, there's a greater light to rule the day and the lesser light to rule the night. And they're not stars like NASA tells us, because these are not out of focus. You can do this yourself with a telescope, but you can even do some of these with a binocular on certain nights. And you can see them change shapes and colors. They don't look anything like this. So another lie being told to you. All right. I think that's all that on Scary Space News, and we got through all that. Whew. That was a lot. My head's spinning like I hit a wall. Had to wake everyone up again one last time. So hopefully you were entertained today.
Are you not entertained?
And hopefully I might have said at least one thing that you might not have heard before. And if you didn't learn about it tonight, you'll read up on it on your own, because all right. So unless there's any other comments that I missed, I think I got all that. Any other comments or questions? I know. I'll work on that one. I'll try to make it. I'll try to adjust it, or I might just get rid of it. I have so many as it is now. I just thought that was pretty fun. Oh, great! You like the show. Thank you. Entertained and enlightened. Excellent. Thank you. What was this? Who getting dunked was entertaining? I'm not sure. I must have missed something in the chat. Keep it. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out. And you're welcome for the laughs. And thank you. And okay. So what are we doing here? You're welcome. Thank you very much. What is this? Yeah, and that's the other thing, the Allen belt. Now we don't know how to get through it, but yet they went back and forth and had no problem because they didn't know it was there. See, once you know it's there, then it's a problem, I guess. Supposedly, allegedly. So, all right. Well, I think that's going to be it. If you would please, thank you, and hit the like button. If you saw something you want to share, or if you want to subscribe, I'd appreciate that too. And I do appreciate everyone that's here tonight and that are watching in the future. And dear Lord, please watch over us and guide us through these times. We find ourselves in some amazing times, and we thank you for the blessings for you to open our eyes enough that we're actually here listening to this show. And please continue to watch over us. You understand. And if we can learn those things, we'll have a truer path to you. And please continue to show us the way and help us when we need help, guide us when we need guidance, and comfort us when we need comforting. And continue to do this for us and our families. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay. Now, having said that, you got two things left. You get this with a knife in his leg.
Class is dismissed.
All right. God willing, let's do this again. We'll be back here. Same bad time, same bad channel, and or somewhere else in the meantime. But continue to don't worry. God says, have no fear. If you have faith in him, he will have, he knows you and he'll take care of you. And so let's do this again next Friday. And thank you all for being here and for the donations and for the soap buying and for just the general chat and love that happens in this chat. You're wonderful. And I appreciate all of you. And let's do this again soon. Okay. Good night. God bless you all.
I'm the satellite.
500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat.
Satellite transfer complete.